Welcome to the Penny Bloom Podcast. Ain't another place that has got more bombast. Romp past your mom, dad's listening to Tomcats. Talking everything that make you sad. We don't want that. We're here to make you smile. Put your mind at ease. Peace, love, and bloom, and always praise Keanu Reeves. This what we about. This some weeding now. We'll talk until we can't no more, and then we peacing out. Alright, let's go. Penny Bloom Podcast. It's the Penny Bloom Podcast. Penny Bloom Podcast. It's the Penny Bloom Podcast. Penny Bloom Podcast. Penny Bloom Podcast.
Hello, everybody, and welcome in to the Penny Bloom Podcast. Today, we conclude our top 100 favorite movies ever. It is time for the top 10. Strap in, folks. I imagine this episode is going to be quite beefy.
Yeah, most likely.
Most likely. We've done 90 other movies up to this point in 9 different parts, and it has been so much fun. If this is your first time joining us, I can't blame you. You want to hear the top 10. You want to jump straight to it. If that's what you're going to do, all the power to you. I would strongly recommend going back and getting the full catalog. We love all of the movies we talked about. It's probably not 200, but 200 movies combined. We have we have some overlap, so I guess it's probably more around 155, 165. In fact, I think I counted it up, and we have 165 unique movies, 35 overlapping, if I recall. But it's we got a lot to look forward to, man. I am Colton Robertson. I am joined by Joseph George. What's up, homie?
Oh, what up, what up? Always a pleasure to be here.
Oh, and it is always a pleasure to have you. The top 10, baby. This is the first one where I can confidently tell you I didn't do any first watches that would have breached this. I did nothing but rewatch, baby, and I rewatched enough. I rewatched 9 out of the 10, and for one of them, a representative, I watched several of those movies. So,
yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm well prepared. There's no honorable mentions going into this one. It is just the top 10, baby.
I actually do have it.
Oh, fuck yeah, give it to me.
And that's the thing. I still haven't even made it through the whole movie, but I already know it would be pretty fucking high up once I finish it. I started The Lord of the Rings, and that movie's actually fucking sick so
Fellowship
far.
of the Ring fucking rocks.
Yeah, it's like I don't know. I'm usually not one for that kind of fantasy world. I don't know why. Usually I'm it's not my cup of tea, but I was really into it. I don't know. I'd say probably shit. It might be in the 30s. Maybe even I don't know. It'd probably be already pretty high up.
Fellowship is
cool.
It's actually the only Lord of the Rings movie I've watched. I've read the books, but I've only ever watched Fellowship, and I've heard amazing things. So maybe eventually we make this a project we carve out for ourselves, and we dig through the Lord of the Rings trilogy, because I've heard some great stuff. But none of those will be touching my top 10 today.
Yeah.
But I'm glad to hear it. Fellowship of the Ring was just outside my top 100. It was one of the honorable mentions. It was one of the ones that I almost pulled the trigger on. Hadn't watched it in a while. Didn't make the list. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But yeah, these 10 movies, I'm in the same boat as you. It was all rewatches. None of these were a first watch. But I'd say all of them, upon first watch, I knew that they all
create that feeling within you. You watch it,
you're
and
like,
go,
holy
oh wait,
shit!
This is one of my favorite movies of all time.
Yeah, and that's such a good feeling to finish a movie and know you're like, wait, where does this stand on my movie rankings? You're like, this is top 10. You're like, shit, this might be top 5. This might be this might be my favorite movie of all fucking time.
Yeah, right.
it's such a good feeling. And like this is
every time I'm watching a movie and I just like, if you instantly know it's one of your favorites of all time, it's just it feels so good. It's one of the best feelings you can have watching a movie.
Yeah.
And this is an episode where it's nothing but those. Nothing but you watched it and you went, that's one of my favorites ever.
Like every single one of these movies, I would like love just to show, like to sit someone else down and have them watch them, you know, for the first time. And like, I don't know, like that's, I want
had a couple
these
of those
movies. Like, yeah,
actually in the last week, I have a couple of those on this list.
Yeah, me
so
as well.
I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
But if you would like to take us in to the top 10, kick us off with your number 10.
We're starting it. Okay. Well, I'm actually starting with one that I had a first viewing with someone else with. And another one coming up soon. Actually, with my father. I watched it with my brother first. My dad wants to watch it now. But this is 2022. Matt Reeves, The Batman, is where I have this.
Beautiful.
I wonder if you expected it to be this low on the top 10.
I know that these bottom two are your comic book movies.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that is true. I did say that there were 4 in a row.
Yes. So I knew that coming into
the
it.
order. Did you expect this?
I
order?
did not. I was expecting. I expected more of you, Joseph. No, I'm just kidding. It's okay. I completely.
That's the
understand.
thing, though. Like, I think, I don't know. The next whenever I first saw this in theaters, it made me question: is this my favorite Batman movie of all time? Like, is not even that was like, is this my favorite comic book movie of all time? Like, I was like, oh my god, this was incredible. It's 3 hours long, and yeah, I think it's like you just got to make sure you have the 3 hours. But once you start it, it is like impossible to put down. If I start this movie, I have to finish it. It's like, and it's all I think about for the rest of the day, or like I don't know. It's like an all-consuming movie. And I think a lot of people, like the instant comparison is The Dark Knight that people are comparing it to, and that's insane that you're comparing this to the best Batman, like inarguably the best Batman movie, The Dark Knight. Right. Like, people are already putting it up there, and the praise that The Dark Knight got was that it was so realistic. Like, what a realistic take on Batman. But then you see this Batman, Robert Pattinson, and it's like even more realistic, but somehow it plays into the camp of Batman even more. And I don't know, I think it's insane that they got there on the first movie. And the more I watch it, the more like it might be number one out of the Batmans. But as of right now, it is not for me. Almost right there, which I think is insane. That it's already up there.
I love the Batman, and I have not said the Batman, as one can tell, but it will be said within the confinement of this episode.
Oh yeah,
this was the only one I watched multiple times in the last week. I watched it a couple times in anticipation of the top 10, and it kind of like, it's just for a 3-hour film. It is so easy to watch. It is so revisitable. I get endless enjoyment out of it. And I will be talking about it in a little bit, so I'll save a lot of my thoughts, but I love the Batman.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I figured it would be up here for the both of us.
Yeah. Yes. This will be one of the 2, maybe 3 that overlap, and I'm very excited. Yeah. Very excited. But
man. Yeah, just some of the shots in this movie were just so cool.
It's a gorgeous fucking movie, man.
Whenever he's in like Falcone's penthouse, and he goes down he turns the power off, and he's hiding in the elevator up on the ceiling.
Yeah.
The guy goes down in there, and the gunfire muzzle flashes is the only thing that's providing light, and it's just like, oh my god, he's just tanking the bullets, just walking up to these dudes. Oh my god,
there's just so much going for it, I think
he made Batman the main character, that's without a doubt. I don't know, it's I don't think there's any question of who's the main character, who's the show, but in the Dark Knight, it's Heath Ledger. It's arguably Harvey Dent as well. It's crazy, but yeah, Robert Pattinson. There's
suffering. I've been watching, like I said, I watched it a couple times this weekend. The only one that I've always had a little bit more of a tough time enjoying in this movie, and I always thought he did a really good job. But as far as Batman villains are concerned, Paul Dano's Riddler is not like you said, Joker, Harvey Dent. As far as Batman villains in movies have been concerned, I was not a huge fan of Paul Dano's Riddler. That's not the case, man, anymore. This man, it's one of the best utilizations of Paul Dano in any performance ever.
Yeah.
He is fucking good.
My brother, in the same thought I had, I think I knew it was Paul Dano going into the movie. Maybe I didn't, because I had the same thought that my brother did. Behind them, it was not the face that I expected whatsoever. Kind of like a Kylo Ren, sort of thing. Where he takes off the mask, you're like, oh wow, it's just a boy, sort of. And because my brother, I don't know what the actor's name is, but who my brother thought it was someone who, has to be 60 years old. I don't know, 50, 60 years old, white hair, I don't know, old man, sort of thing that my brother thought it was. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I really didn't expect, it's crazy the persona he puts on, with his mask, it's, how different he is. And then I don't know.
You've seen it. We've unmasked the truth. Gotham's culture is lies. It's corruption. Paul Dano is so fucking good in this movie, man.
Does he know?
You deserve to die after what you did. Do you hear me? That dude is. I always think about the countdown when they've got the bomb strapped around the DA's neck, and he's like 3, 2, 1, bye. And then he explodes. Dude, it's such a good fucking
did Batman
movie.
Tank that, dude. What the fuck? How the hell? There were many times where you actually thought he was dead.
Oh yeah.
There were the shotgun, holy shit.
Puts the shotgun to his head, bro.
And then the cutting the power line, and then the theater was dead silent.
Dude, the silence is loud.
Silent. Off your rewatch, the only question I keep coming back to every time I watch is if the Riddler knows that Bruce Wayne is Batman.
No.
I don't know. I'm still kind of on the side of yes.
Why?
I don't know. I
can give you reasons why not. That's my only thing.
I would like to hear a compelling case to know.
I say that. Let me ask you this: when do you think he would have how long do you think he would have known Bruce Wayne was Batman if he were to know that Bruce Wayne was Batman?
Well, I think, because he was it was always supposed to be us, we're a team, we're in this together. And I think Batman's been around for 2 years, in this Gotham. And I think, the Riddler, he's been going crazy for quite some time. He's been planning this. So maybe once Batman starts to gain some popularity, the Riddler, he starts to make this master plan. He's like, oh, I want to use this guy against me. And then, so Batman's a key part of his plan from the very beginning to help unmask the city together. And then he's each one of his victims, he does a deep dive into them, and he kills them for a very purposeful reason. and like it's very thought out, and like he knows his
Yeah.
victims and everything. So like you would think he would do his due diligence into studying Batman, and like who he could be, who he possibly could be, and it's just in the way that he tried to kill Bruce Wayne, like sending like a mail pack, like I don't know, like I feel like he knows Bruce Wayne doesn't open his own mail, like he's a billionaire, and like just because it says for Bruce Wayne's eyes only, is that like really like gonna for sure kill Bruce Wayne, you know, like sort of thing.
My thought is that if he wants to kill Bruce Wayne, which I'm confident he does,
Mm-hmm.
he does not also leave a note for the Batman. There's also a note for the Batman that he leaves in the package that has a bomb for Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, and then he says whenever he first gets there, like at the asylum, he says, "I told you I'd see you in hell,"
Which was in the note for the Batman.
Yeah, see you in hell for the Batman. But he knows that Bruce isn't going to open the package, and he knows that Bruce or the Batman will see that note. Because, like,
so what do you think is the motivation for him going, he's the only one we didn't get?
Because it's on camera. And he doesn't want Gotham to know. He wants Bruce to unmask himself. He doesn't want to unmask Bruce. He doesn't want it to come from him. He wants it for Bruce to like realize who he is, and the mask is his true identity, whatever. Because that, like, the eerie Bruce Wayne, you know, like, and like looking at him, and then, you know, he looks up to the camera. He's like, oh shit, like, oh fuck, like, oh fuck, like, oh fuck, oh fuck.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, whenever he says he's the only one we didn't get, you know, he's like, oh, like, okay, thank God. Like, now I'm good. Like, he was very relieved. And I think, like, that's, the Riddler has been planning this conversation as well for quite some time. He knew this conversation would happen. And I don't know, I think he's super thought out and super meticulous. Like, I think he's just, he could have figured it out. I don't know. That's the only thing, is how he would have figured it out.
Yeah, that's my thing. I just think you're giving him too much credit. I think he fucking despised Bruce Wayne, and I think he worshipped the Batman. Like, there's too much of a dichotomy there for him. I think that if he knew Bruce Wayne was the Batman, he would then hate the Batman. You know, and he doesn't hate the Batman. I think his hate for Bruce Wayne would overcome his obsession with Batman. I think that he would eventually...
Or he's obsessed with Batman because he realizes he doesn't have to kill Bruce Wayne because he's already trying to make up for, like, the sins of his father. He's already, like, fighting, like, he's doing his shit. He's fighting crime, you know, he's actually doing shit and not just staying up and keep, you know.
That would require, I think,
it's just a way to kill Bruce Wayne. That's the laziest kill on his entire, on everything. Like, every other kill was so much.
How else do you get to Bruce? Up in his penthouse, the guy who never leaves, who never exits his home, who never goes anywhere.
Then what's up with the Opera House, him standing up at the balcony, staring Bruce right in the fucking eye?
Because he hates Bruce Wayne. He knows who Bruce Wayne is. You know, everyone knows who Bruce Wayne is. It's not difficult to pick Bruce Wayne out of a crowd and go, well, that's Bruce Wayne. I don't fuck with Bruce Wayne. Like, I think something that I will grant, if he does know Bruce Wayne is Batman, it's not until after he tried to kill him. I think he tries to kill Bruce Wayne not knowing Bruce Wayne is Batman. And maybe since Bruce Wayne doesn't die, that lets him know that he is. That's the only way I could see it. I think that I would say it's like his best guess. I even so, I don't think he would know it, you know? Okay.
Yeah. Because he knew Batman wouldn't be home at the time his package got there, whatever. So it's like, for sure, he's in two different places at one time.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so if he lives, then
Bruce Wayne.
I don't know. That's the thing that like.
Well,
Why
that's
say
the
it
other
like
thing
that?
too, is that he's just
He is
fucking
just
nuts.
crazy. He is
So like,
just
yeah,
crazy.
that's the thing is that, well, I do think they left it open on purpose for discussions like this. You know, I don't think there is a 100% foolproof. He knows or he doesn't know. I think they 100% leave it up to you to go, oh, does he know?
Man, and we're gonna get another Batman too. Like, we're gonna get a James Gunn Batman.
Yeah.
You know, like eventually, and like this is just all on its own. Sick. Like I like this is. You don't need any other heroes. You don't need any fucking multiverse. Just give me fucking Gotham, Batman, the Penguin. Just give me Joker.
No, yeah, there's just so many
Coming up.
great. There's so much to enjoy from this movie, so I do have it on my list, and I'm glad that it made your top 10 as well.
Oh yeah,
but
above Spider-Man, both Batman movies above the Spider-Man movies, and I think that's just I love these movies so much, but then like the quality of the Batman movies is just so much higher. That Spider-Verse not really it's
Spider-Verse
up
is the
there,
exception there,
up there
say.
with them. But like it's I don't know, it's just different moods, I guess. But this is like overall, I just feel like the Batman movies are just made better. And
yeah, I think they have higher highs and lower lows. Actually, Batman does. The worst Batman movies are way worse than the worst Spider-Man movies, and the best Batman movies are better than the best Spider-Man movies. You know what I'm saying? Like
that's true. Yeah. Wow, Batman. Yeah, there's some gaps.
Yeah, there is.
But Spider-Man, they're all good. They're all like
they're all pretty solid.
all right.
You know, like there's an argument to be had that some of them aren't very good, but even so, I'm not. None of them are as bad as Batman and Robin, and you can't convince me they are. A lot of people hold that opinion about Far From Home, which doesn't make any fucking sense to me.
I know. I think Spider-Man 3 is or 2 or I don't know. I haven't watched The Amazing Spider-Man 2 in a while, but like that's probably the worst. I don't think any of the Tom Hollands can be considered the worst.
I don't think so either.
At all.
You could probably consider them the worst adaptations of Peter Parker and Spider-Man, but regardless. But
yeah.
No, all right.
Starting out.
I'm gonna start something that I realized in making my top 10 is that I'm quite the fan of romance movies. I've got at least 3 in my top 10.
Okay.
And I'm gonna start it here at the 10 spot with Quite the Picture. Quite the Picture. This is where I have 1943's Casablanca, directed by Michael Curtiz.
I thought you said. I thought this was Quite the Picture. I thought that was the name of the movie.
Oh no, it's Quite the Picture.
Quite the Picture. We were talking about calling a movie a picture, and it just has to be old. That's the only requirement to be called a picture.
1943. Quite the Picture. Casablanca, starring Humphrey Bogart and Ingrid Bergman. Now, last week I told you The Fabelmans would be my highest personal recommendation for you. This would be my highest personal recommendation for anybody. As far as the stuff that you have not seen. This is quintessential cinema. You know, you've heard of Casablanca, as everyone at this point has. It's so deeply important to the landscape of film at large. Humphrey Bogart and Ingrid Bergman are fucking powerhouses. Every single shot of Ingrid Bergman feels so important. Like there's such a they show her face and you're like, this is what movies are supposed to be. You know, you just put this woman in front of a camera and that's what a movie is supposed to be. And that's just kind of the whole movie. And I think that it has a reputation, obviously, of being one of the greatest of all time. And there's no doubt that that's the case. It has an awesome anti-fascist streak. It's set during World War II.
This is good.
So during World War II, Casablanca is a city where people fleeing from Nazi Germany go to get a flight to America.
Okay.
To leave Europe and head for the Americas for a free world. And one of the main characters in this movie, like the premier thing is that there's a love triangle between Rick Blaine, Humphrey Bogart, Ilsa Lund, Ingrid Bergman, and Victor Laszlo, played by Paul Henreid. And Rick and Ilsa have a history where stuff didn't pan out. And then he goes and opens a bar in Casablanca that's also a casino. And of all the gin joints in all the world, she happens to walk into mine. There's all sorts of like quotes that you've definitely heard that are Casablanca. Here's looking at you, kid. That's Rick Blaine. I think this is the beginning of a wonderful friendship. Rick Blaine also. Lots of great quotes.
Yeah. I feel like this is like, it's elevated beyond like the state of just a movie. Like this is, it's like, this is like, it's either a picture or a film. Like this is like,
well, no, you know, like there's a couple examples of this in movies, and it's this and Citizen Kane, where they don't just get compared to other movies, you know, like you hear a song, you listen to an album, you see a painting, and someone will go, well, it's no Casablanca or it's no Citizen Kane, you know, and it's like they've elevated beyond just film at that point, you know, like it's bigger than that. And that love triangle is quintessential to the concept of the movie, and it is so fucking good. Victor Laszlo is like a freedom fighter in the fight against Nazi Germany. He's been in the concentration camps, and he's escaped, and he's trying to find his way to America to better lead this fight against the Nazis. And Rick Blaine is this kind of reluctant hero, where he was once deeply anti-fascist, deeply anti-Nazi, and then he opens up his own little gin joint, and he tries to be apolitical. He wants his bar, Rick's Place, to be like a safe haven. Anyone can come here, anyone can be here, and anyone's welcome. And that's just kind of that. What happens beyond here doesn't really matter to me. And it's kind of his journey back to being the good guy instead of the guy who stays out of it, you know? And like I said, Ingrid Bergman, probably the highlight of this movie. She is so fucking good as Ilsa Lund. And just perfect cinema. Like 10 out of 10. The best shit you could possibly watch, I think.
Wow. Okay. All right. Well, my number 9, right above the Batman, is another Batman. This is where I have The Dark Knight, Nolan's 2008. And I mean, they were gonna be kind of back to back. I felt like they kind of had to be. I hold them very, very close to each other. These two Batman movies, and yeah, when it boils down to it, if you're not counting Star Wars, these are my top 2 favorite comic book movies of all time. That I enjoy, and I think this is correct. Yeah, like this is, when I really think about it. I've probably seen Spider-Man more, just quantity-wise. But as far as like an all-around enjoyment and critically and just everything that a movie has, like The Dark Knight, I don't know, it's crazy every time I rewatch it. And I'm like, I just realize like how beautifully like the story is. Like Harvey's in particular, I've like really come to like over the recent years. Like Harvey's storyline, I really only paid attention to Joker, like and Heath Ledger before, just because how can't you? But like I've
a little bit of anarchy.
Man, dude, it's insane. Like how well everyone played their character in this movie. Like Harvey Dent, like I don't know.
Aaron
it's
Eckhart
crazy
is
how
fucking good in that role, man.
The villains were handled so well in that movie. It's insane. And Heath Ledger just, I mean, top. I don't know. I'm trying, like, as far as like best performances of all time. Like, I don't think it is the best performance of all time.
No, there's no way to quantify that.
Yeah, that's a weird thing to say, but it's great. Like, at least comic book, I think it might be fair to say that it's like it is the best comic book movie performance of all time. Like, maybe like Trying to think of like who else could be stacked up to that, like Hugh Jackman
No, like
and Logan,
I straight up
maybe.
can't think of anyone else that you could like as far as a single movie.
Yeah.
Them being in this one movie and performing their ass off. I mean, like maybe Hugh Jackman and Logan, maybe. And even that, not entirely.
It's a lot of build up to that too. You know, it's like
there's
a lot going on there instead of it just being a here I am, here's my shit, and I'm out. But yeah, I mean he just dominated the screen every time he was in, and like it. I mean, it's
you could just steal from us and walk away.
Yeah. Yeah. That, I mean, like, God, like, what a take on the Joker, too. Like, just a pure agent of chaos. Dude just doesn't care. He's like, oh my God. And, like, apparently the
man with a plan.
That scene with Harvey in the hospital, like, the dialogue, what was going to be said, like, wasn't really known, like, between the two. And, like, Heath was just, like, pacing back and forth, but wouldn't say a word to Harvey. He was just like muttering to himself, like just literally muttering to himself in the hospital room, and Harvey was just like, yeah, I just got like uncomfortable, like I don't like I was just sitting there watching Heath Ledger just walk back and forth, muttering to himself like a madman, and then it's. I mean, the method acting he did. I mean, yeah, it seems like it might have taken it a little too far. Might have. I don't know. Like,
it's been there's a lot of myth built around his, his entire presence in that movie due to the fact that he died in the post-production process of it all. There's been a lot of stories about how this role took a toll on him, and I'm sure it did to a degree, but man, he did such a fantastic fucking job in this role. Like, I remember thinking, I read a story once where the scene when they go up to the penthouse, to Bruce's penthouse during the Harvey Dent fundraiser, and he's just kind of walking around the room, and he's like, "Do you know where Harvey is? Do you know where he is?" And he grabs a champagne glass, chucks all the champagne out, and then tips it back like there's nothing in there. When he apparently none of the extras, nobody knows what he's gonna do. So he's just walking around the room, kind of scaring the shit out of people. Do you know where he is? Where is he?
Dude, that would be so weird to experience. And I don't know. It's just little things like
a smile on that face.
Whenever they flip the semi, and then him and Batman have that game of chicken where he's like, hit me. He's like really wanting him to hit him, and then but Batman like tumbles over, and then one of his goons go to try to take his mask off, and it like shocks him, and the Joker just like laughs and just like jumps all over him, like just just like it's just like the little. Yeah. Like, just the little things like that are just like, man, he was in it, man. Man, yeah, he was totally encapsulated by that.
Yeah, like I saw this in theaters last week, and it was that's game changing. Like, it's it would have climbed up my ranking after watching it in theater. And I mean, that scene, the flipping of the semi and all of that, like I've always been impressed by it. But seeing it that big and that,
the sound would be nice.
I was awed by it. I got chills during it. And then him going, hit me, I want you to hit me. That'll probably, whenever we do it for the comic book movie project, might be my favorite scene of the movie. Like, it is so fucking good.
It's nice. It's so good.
I want you to hit me. Whenever he's hanging from the building at the end.
Laughing, dude.
Yeah.
Laughing as he's falling. Oh my God. Like, I mean, like, cause he catches him, right? Like he gets kicked off, but he catches him with his grappling gun or whatever, but he's laughing on his way down. Like, oh my God. And then like, the camera slowly like rotating to make him like, right side up.
That was another thing that watching it in the theater was like,
that would be so
this is fucking brilliant,
dude. Yeah.
Just take madness. It's like gravity. All you need is a
push.
little push.
So many quotes like that. It's insane how quotable that movie.
No, yeah,
was.
that was Emily's first real viewing of The Dark Knight. She'd never finished
Ooh.
it, and we went and saw it in theaters. And I was like, "This is the perfect time to see it for the first time." And like, she walked out of there like, "Oh my god, that was so fucking good!" And like, she's like, "I didn't know that that's the movie that was like, you either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become a villain." Or there's another one that's some people just want to watch the world burn. Yeah. Yeah, like that's the other, like a lot of quotes originate from The Dark Knight 15 years ago. You know, like they've transcended that movie, which is like that's incredible. No, that movie fucking rocks, and I can't blame anyone for holding it higher than the Batman. You know, I'm not gonna.
But that's the thing, is that the Batman is the equivalent of Batman Begins, kind of. It's not like the pure origin. Like the first in a maybe trilogy. Is the trilogy confirmed or just the second movie confirmed?
I don't think we got a for sure stamped timeline for how long they plan on taking this Batman. But regardless, it's yeah, like the comparisons too have instantly. My 9 is the Batman 2022, directed by Matt Reeves, so we can kind of just branch these discussions together. Like you said, I fucking love the Batman. It's another one that I got a chance to show someone for the first time. I watched this with my dad earlier this week, and it's one that I've been recommending to him pretty much anytime he's looking for a movie to watch. I'm like, have you watched the Batman yet? It's pretty fucking good. And he finally got around to it, and it's just it's so awesome. I was debating. This was hovering outside the top 10 a little bit early on in making this list. And I eventually rewatched it and was like, nah, it's top 10. But in rewatching it with someone else for the first time, it reminded me just how fucking awesome the movie is. We're watching the part where the car chase, where he flips the pen. He like, you know,
this guy's crazy.
This guy's crazy. And he, you know, he's like, I got you. And then he like flies through the fire, and my dad goes, whoa. You know, like I was like, exactly. That is exactly the reaction you're supposed to feel in that moment. You know, like he just, whoa. I was like, on the money. And, so like seeing that
the cowboy western kind of as he like comes out and walk upside down walking. Oh, that soundtrack! Oh my god!
Oh yeah, this is my personal. I mean, probably the most listened to soundtrack I've ever listened to. I spin Michael Giacchino's this whole thing too fucking much.
It was on repeat for quite a while. Like the main theme, it was like the only thing I wanted to hear for like, I'd say a couple weeks after I first watched the movie. Like that's all I heard in my head. I'm like, so good.
Yeah, no, man. Like if I do that like Receiptify, like last year on my Spotify Wrapped, Michael Giacchino was my top artist, and the Batman was my top album. You know, like it was like. I spin this shit all the fucking time. But Robert Pattinson is fucking brilliant in it. I think Jeffrey Wright as Jim Gordon is incredible.
Open your eyes.
Holy God, what are you showing me? Colin Farrell as Ozzy Cobblepot, man. He is so fucking good.
The worst Spanish I've ever heard. Yeah,
it's like El Rata, it says that. It's like the worst Spanish I ever heard. You know, do you heard this kind of talk? You know, like that whole thing. I fucking love Colin Farrell in this movie, man. And, oh shit, it is. You know, whenever he's looking at the pictures and he's like, that's the mayor right there. He's like, oh shit, it is. You know, like that whole thing. You know my reputation.
Yes, the mayor's wife. Not too soon. You know, whatever. Like it's just that man.
Yeah. Do you? I'm like. He's just got like, and there's so many moments when I was watching with my dad that I was like, you're reminding me exactly how I felt the first time I watched this, because whenever after the explosion and the Batman's in the police precinct and they're like, I wonder who's under there. Should we take off his mask? And he like gets up and he like starts swinging and stuff. And then the police captain's like, I got you on assaulting an officer. And then Batman's like, you got me on assaulting 3. My dad went, oh. You know, like just the little audible reactions where it's like, oh, that's dope. You know, like it's just, it was on the money. It was exactly what you want to hear in those moments. And I think that I think as far as the understanding of the character of the Batman, this has the keenest of any live action adaptation of the character. It's just so perfect in its adaptation of Batman and the evolution he sees over the course of this movie, from the beginning whenever, you know, I'm vengeance, and he beats the shit out of that dude and everybody in the fucking subway tunnel. And then the guy who he protected is like, don't hurt me, please don't hurt me. And he's like scared of him. He's like, maybe I'm not inspiring the right thing here if this is how that guy feels and I'm helping him. But then at the end, to flip it on its head, whenever the moment that always gets me, I mean, everything from the moment he falls into the water, lights up the flare thing, and then takes the kid's hand and guides everybody out of there. But then the monologue he's giving at the end where he's like, I realize I'm having an impact here, not the one I intended. You know, vengeance, it can't change the future.
Yeah. Like
it can't change
it's not
the past.
It's not like an origin movie in the sense of he's like, we see him become like the Batman and put the costume on for the first time, but it's he becomes like the Batman we know.
Yeah.
And like that like
you want, you know,
the
like
Batman, yeah, exactly.
I'd argue that there's not a live action Batman that has actually reached this point. You know, I think that, you know, the closest we've gotten is maybe the end of The Dark Knight Rises, whenever Christian Bale decides he's going to put it down, and he's like, I've passed on a legacy that people believe in now, and that's that. You know, there's a lot of stuff with The Dark Knight, with the way it ends. He's not inspiring. Like, it's just much more, it's not as abstract, you know, it's not as personal. It's more like there's a few people who know, there's a few people like, and everybody fucks with the Batman, but like not everybody does. And but at the end of this movie, whenever that chick is on the stretcher and he's like carrying her and he puts her down, and as he like tries to go away, she like grabs his hand and like holds his arm, and he like comforts her and holds her all the way up. Like, I get chills and tears just thinking about it, dude. Like, it is so effective. And yeah, I love the end of that movie. And I mean, Selena Kyle.
Oh man, yeah, we didn't even talk about her. Oh my god. Yeah, dude.
There's some wonderful, like, one of my favorite scenes in the movie is when she tries to break into the mayor's penthouse and tries to open the safe to get her passport. And you see her like come in on the line around the caution tape, and then like the view behind her of her like little tiny cat ears as she's, and then she gets it and he's like, you're pretty good at that. Like that whole thing, and the way he like wraps her up and covers her mouth whenever a cop comes, like electric chemistry. Like there's just there's so much to like about the movie. And I mean, John Turturro's Carmine Falcone, one of the best that's one of the best Batman villains ever. Genuinely.
Dude, I mean, what a, like, just the concept of the movie. Like, you didn't even know, like, Riddler's the villain, but you have Falcone as well. You kind of have Penguin thrown in there. You're like, maybe he could be, but like, nah, it's not really feeling like it. And like, there's so many ups and downs, and it's, I don't know, like, when you have the Joker, it's like clear. You're like, okay, yeah, that's the fucking villain. And then like when you see Harvey come out, you're like, yeah, okay, he's a villain now. But like the back and forths and like the Riddler kind of being like the main villain that's pushing the story forward, but then you have Falcone actually being the real villain of,
fleshing out the backstories of both Bruce and Selena being so tied to Carmine Falcone.
Yeah,
like that's so fucking cool. You know, the fact that both of their, like, her mom and his parents were both killed by Carmine, and that they
Mhm.
Like, there's just so much. Like, one of my favorite ones that always gets me too is whenever she's ready to kill him. She's ready to kill Carmine, and she's like, he has to pay. He has to pay. And he's like, he does, but you don't have to pay with him.
Oh my
You've
god.
paid enough. I'm like, oh,
Dude.
like, just
Too good. And like
too good.
it's
man.
really they're building up like the world of Batman so well. Like we better not get blue-balled Robin like Nolan did for whatever reason at the very end of Dark Knight Rises.
No, we'll get Robin.
Like what the fuck ever. And possibly two already. Like Nightwing and maybe a Robin.
Mhm.
I don't know. Like the red suit, the mayor's or I guess the guy who was running for mayor. I don't know if he was already mayor before.
He was mayor. He was running for re-election.
But his kid in that classic red, like the classic red like suit. I don't know, like that reminded me of Robin. But then the kid at the subway who was about to join that like I don't know, like Joker gang?
Already played Robin.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. But like, was that supposed to be like a joke? Like, because Joker's in Arkham.
Mm-hmm.
Right now.
I don't think that's I actually think it was an homage to Batman Forever. I don't think it's strictly supposed to be like a Joker gang thing. Do you remember in Batman Forever that gang of bikers who like Dick Grayson goes down and like races with them on his motorcycle? Literally one of those dudes goes, who the hell are you supposed to be?
Okay.
And that's literally what one of the goons said. Like, one of the clear things about this movie is that Matt Reeves liked Batman Forever, at least elements of it.
Man,
so
but
I think we are in for an honorable Robin adaptation, and either
actually kids like this time as well. You know, I'm a young Robin, which will be cool. But yeah, I don't know. But the Penguin show, can't wait for that.
Can't wait.
Seeing Gotham flooded at the end. And the Penguin just staring out that window, so fucking. I don't know. It's like the visuals
better.
Like Dark Knight, like I don't know. Everyone holds Nolan up for his like no one argues his critical like appeal or like how well he can make a movie. But like this movie's way more beautiful.
This movie is so much better.
Oh my god, it is.
Greg Fraser as the director of photography was fucking nuts with it, dude. Like it's an insane. Like they were experimenting with shit too, and you could tell, like the focal lengths and everything. Like whenever Batman is hanging from the rafters and like everything's just kind of blurred out behind him, but it's not the typical way you expect like a focal length to blur something out, and it's got this kind of motion blur to it. I don't know what it was, but it's fucking gorgeous.
Like when he's hanging there too, you see a real change is like going off, and you see everyone looking. I don't know that like
shot when he's like when he's like swinging on the electrical line before he grabs grabs it and he's about to cut it, where you can't see his eyes and they're just like black pits, and he's like swinging there, and it's like half a second, but it's fucking gorgeous, dude. Like
the flare when he's walking everyone out, that overhead shot whenever he's walking in through the fire upside down to the Penguin, the elevator shot, you know, the pitch black gunfire. Like I mean, it's insane.
I mean, the shot of Carmine Falcone and Selena Kyle in hit like because they're silhouetted against the Gotham skyline right there. And that's fucking gorgeous, you know. Like
that's a perfect use of the volume as well.
Yes.
Like, oh my god, did
Greg
that look
Fraser
beautiful. Like
is the guy who basically created using the volume. He was also the director of photography for the first episode of The Mandalorian.
That makes sense. Okay.
So like this is basically his technology. There is nobody who has ever proven besides Steven Spielberg that they are able to use it as effectively. And
yeah, this was perfect. Like that.
Dude.
Looks so good. Yeah, like that, the cityscape and the perfect lighting whenever you want it, you know, like control whatever you want the sky to look like.
Jim Gordon and him pulling up, and it's whenever the bat symbol goes up and he gets there, he's like, that's not you. He's like, I thought it was you.
Yeah.
And they go up there, and it's Selena Kyle just beating the shit out of that cop.
Yeah. Yep.
What do you say, Vengeance? Let's get his ass.
Yeah, it's been 2 years,
Don't
man. I
throw
don't
your
know who
life
you
away.
are. You know, like, man, they're I don't know. It's crazy how that movie like was instantly just. I came out of the theater. I'm like, yeah, like.
I came
Yes.
out of that theater. You were talking about one. Like I came out of the theater and I was like, that is my favorite comic book movie of all time. Like I had zero doubt in my mind. I was like, I've always had a tough time with the live action Batmans in some capacity. Like there was always something that I was like, oh, I like that movie for the most part. But like whenever people were like Michael Keaton or Ben Affleck or Christian Bale or all this, who's yours? I was like, I don't really fucking care. You know, like they all got some good shit going on. I was like, Robert Pattinson, that's the fucking man that resonates with me right now. That was fucking incredible. Thursday, October 31st.
Dude. It
makes the music kicking in, the boom, boom, boom. You know, like god damn.
Happy Halloween.
I could,
you know, or,
happy fucking Halloween.
Yeah, there it is.
This must be your favorite night of the year, huh, pal? Happy fucking Halloween. All right, I'm gonna go act in Andor now. Bye.
Bootlicker. Yeah.
Bootlicker.
Wow.
Pussy. Nah. Great actor though. Yeah, no. The Batman had to be on the list. Had to be top 10. And it falls here at 9 for me.
Okay. All right. Well, moving on to number 8. I mean, it's a common thread of like watching a movie for the first time and instantly kind of knowing. This one, I mean, I watched it for the first time. I think I knew I was going to like it before I watched it. But then I watched it for the first time. I'm like, okay, this movie was right up my alley. It was great. It was amazing. And I loved everything about it. It was a 52-year journey movie. And this is where I have 1998's Peter Weir's The Truman Show.
Love that.
For me. And as far as like Jim Carrey performances, like I've just known him as like Dumb and Dumber,
right?
Like, and yeah, like I never watched like Ace Ventura, but like I knew of him as Ace Ventura. I watched The Mask, like yeah, like a couple times. Like I knew him as like the funny guy. But this is inarguably my favorite performance that Jim Carrey's ever done. Maybe like the Dumb and Dumber, just a more enjoyable performance, right. Maybe. But as far as like overall, like yeah, like the Truman, like this movie, I remember like watching it. I'm like, oh my god, like I've never felt the feeling of like, how have I not seen this earlier? With like more with this movie, like this is a movie that I should have seen 10 years ago, and just have watched way more than I have. But this was the first movie that I rewatched in my top 10 list. I'm like, I'm going to The Truman Show first, because I think it is the least, maybe but I think it is the one that I've seen the least out of all of them. But I know that it's up here. Like that's maybe a credit to how much I do like it. It is the one I've seen the least, but like I knew it was in my top 10 for sure. And it was like after that first watch, I'm like, oh my god, like it's just the concept of it, like in the first place, is just like so like just really cool. And like I love the Ed Harris Westworld tie-in as well.
Of course,
totally the same universe. In here, this is just a prelude to Westworld.
Hey, he is a millionaire.
Yeah,
you know that.
Mm-hmm. This is
just this is just the time he spent as a television exec. You know.
Exactly. Yeah. Totally the same thing, but just like a crazy mind experiment, or like just a thought experiment to have of like no way, like we have a Truman, you know, like there's no way, because I would have to be Truman and everything else would have to be fake.
Right.
There's no, you know, like everyone can't be Truman, you know. So like it would have to be me, and I'm like, there's no fucking shot I'm Truman. I don't know, like there's no shot people are tuning in every day to watch me. But like I know for like if this were to exist in real life, like if some like this premise was actually brought up, like we have a person from birth, this is all they know, complete production, it would probably be one of the biggest shows on earth. Like I mean, people would I don't know. Like I feel like people would actually watch it and people would go
100%.
crazy for it. But then for the movie to at the end, for everyone just to not give a fuck, like just to move on to the next thing, is like like the ending is perfect. Like the Truman has his like kind of perfect ending, you know, like you finally see him escape and like go and, you know, he's going to live his own life however he can on Earth. Who knows? Most famous dude on the planet. How he's going to live his life, who knows? But then you see how the world reacts and you're like, "Oh, well, I guess that's true." Like, yeah, I mean that's just kind of what we do as humans. I don't know. Like we're focused on the next thing, and I don't know, it's got to be right in front of us. For us to care. And I don't know, just all of the friendships, like whenever he knows something's off and he's like starting to think about this, he's like, you know, my wife, you know, like my best friend that I've talked to, you know, my whole life, like all of this fake, like all of it not real, like
Meryl
what does
and
this
Marlon
mean?
and
Yeah, he tries to escape, and like the excuses get like crazier and crazy. You know, like a fire just like erupts on the road. You know, he just drives through. Fuck it. And then like, nuclear meltdown. Sorry, can't go past here. He's like, oh, really? Interesting. Like I love how it slowly falls apart, and then
do something.
Yeah,
And he's like, "Who are you talking to? You know, what are you talking about?"
man. Yeah, this. I don't know. I think
I can't go on like this. It's unprofessional. You know, like that whole thing. Yeah, shut the fuck up. Been gaslighting a man for his entire adulthood.
Yeah, that'd be so weird to be like an actor in this, because it's like
entire life.
Your everyday. Yeah, like it's not like he just like took Truman captive. He kind of have the whole cast captive there too. Like they have to play their
And
character
willfully.
as well. Yeah, but like I guess that's true. They did come there on their own. Like it was, yeah. They wanted to be part of the show. Like wow, what a weird thing.
I'm sure there's a way they could write people off. Obviously, you know, like if Laura Linney's character got too uncomfortable, she could be like, "I need to file for divorce from this fucking guy." You know, like this.
Yeah.
But doing that loosens his tie to the community. So would he be more likely to leave if she divorced him and stuff like that? So then they start thinking about stuff like that, and it's like it's just it's a clusterfuck of an idea.
Yeah. Yeah, this is I do have some movie posters up. The Batman is right next to me. I have the Batman, Interstellar, and Star Wars. All three which will be mentioned. I think this is probably the next movie poster that I'd want to hang up in my room. It's just because it is a top 10 movie that I do have, and it's specifically probably the one when he's climbing up the steps against the like painted sky background. I don't know. It's a movie that I just instantly fell in love with, and was I mean, all of these, I will say the same thing. Like, I knew it was a top 10 movie, like, after I watched it. Like, none of these, like, snuck its way up. It was like, oh, yeah, no, I get, like, this was like somewhere probably in the 90s at first, but somehow found its way up here. Like, all of these were off the first watch, were pretty comfortably up there. And yeah, The Truman Show was one of those that was very surprising to me on the 52-year journey. And, I don't know. My favorite Jim Carrey, without a doubt. That's for sure. So
I love that. Mm-hmm. Man, yeah, I had that earlier on the list. I think it was 30. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Yeah.
Let's see. My 8. We're heading to a director's spotlight one here. Stretch of them here. 3 in a row. But at 8, this is where I have Wes Anderson's The French Dispatch 2021. This is one of those, like I told you when we did Grand Budapest, I talked about Grand Budapest Hotel earlier, how there's just a couple more movies of his that are just so deep. They feel like they were made for me, you know. And this is one of them. You know, this is just There's a question that floats around on Twitter every once in a while that's like, is there a movie or a thing that you are confident you like more than everyone else? This is that. This is that for me. I think I like The French Dispatch more than anybody likes The French Dispatch. That's as far as I can tell, as far as I've talked to people, as far as I've seen. It feels like I'm alone in this. Not liking it, but liking it as much as I do. I fucking love this movie, man. I think that top to bottom, I couldn't ask for a more enjoyable movie. It's the only one I didn't make it around to rewatching prior to, like, within the last week. That's because I've watched it 6 times this year, which is more than any other movie besides Asteroid City.
Nice. Yeah.
And so, like, that's the thing, is that I know this movie so fucking well at this point that, you know, Emily doesn't like watching it with me because I'm just over here like I'm like muttering lines to myself as they're said. You know, I fucking adore it. I reference it quite regularly, especially Benicio del Toro's like. I do that a lot now. More. Do
you
than
have
I
a
should.
favorite storyline? Like, do you have one of the stories that's told that stands out?
Yeah, I think Roebuck writes. And more than anything, it's because of Jeffrey Wright in that role. He's so fucking good, man. He was like that. Wes Anderson and Roebuck and Jeffrey Wright was a match made in heaven.
Yeah,
like it just makes too much sense. But everyone is so damn good in this movie. You know, it was just kind of like an avenue to give actors a bunch of wacky roles where they got to do some interesting shit. And Frances McDormand is so good in hers. Timothée Chalamet is so fucking good in this movie. You know, I love, like I said,
I go
Benicio
back and
del
forth.
Toro.
I think he might be my favorite storyline. I go back and forth between. I mean, that's the thing, is that they're all so good in their own ways, and they're all just so different that because like Benicio del Toro, like, because it's kind of the first one. That's like the first big chapter, right? Don't you?
Yes.
You start with him first, and I don't know. I
was
Owen
Wilson going like,
yeah, that's right. He does his little
to life suddenly on a Monday. You know,
right.
He does that whole thing.
But then I don't know, Timothée Chalamet and Frances McDormand's their storyline, like just the whole revolution, the whole
man.
Like there's, I don't know, man. That is tough. Like I think like
they will find what eluded us.
That's why, like, I remember in the spotlight we put our favorites for each of like the 3 big storylines. Like we couldn't just pick one.
No, man. Like they all belong together, and it's a brilliant way to format a movie. I think that it's one of the best. Score is brilliant. Alexander Desplat, another brilliant fucking score by him. Roebuck Wright, that's the story I always come back to. Jeffrey Wright's too fucking good in it. You know, whenever he's talking to Nescaffier at the end, and he's like, that there is one more thing, he told me, but I left that out. It didn't feel right. And it's like seeking something missing something left behind. Maybe with good luck we'll find what eluded us in the places we once called home. Like, bro, I don't know what it is, but when you get to that ending and they start typing up the obituary. The obituary for Howitzer.
That's it.
Man, I fucking lose it. I don't know what it is, but whenever they sit there and, you know, they begin it started as a holiday. Did it? I don't know, kind of. You know, like that's what Owen Wilson says, and it's like, fuck yeah. And then they get to a certain point where they've all said something, and then Jeffrey Wright, what comes next? And then that's the last line of the movie. And I'm like, I don't know what it is, man. I can't explain the way it makes me feel. It just makes me feel so deeply. And I will love this movie for the rest of my life. And the only reason it's not higher is because there's so many movies I love so fucking dearly. And I think this only has the capacity to rise up this list too. I highly invite it. If there are other movies I watch in the future that are above this, fuck yeah,
Damn.
I'm in.
Yeah.
But as far as like a first viewing,
I'm wondering if any movie even has
I think
like
this
a
is
shot.
like my most recent first viewing. No, that's a lie. It's my second most recent first viewing. Like, and it's up here, like it's so fucking good. And yeah, man, I love The French Dispatch. So I had to have it up here, and I have it at 8. It happens to be where it fell.
Okay, well, we'll get back to Wes in a little bit, but not quite yet. I'm going with another director that I really love. I feel like he's hitting his stride every movie he comes out with, and this is one where I've introduced someone else to their work and started to got them to watch their movies, and it's so nice to like recommend a movie and then for it to like land really well and like them really like it, and I'm like it is a really good feeling. But this is 2022 Jordan Peele's Nope. For me, and I recommended it to my uncle, and he is the uncle where we had those scary movie nights all the time. He loves horror movies. He loves the thrillers, and I recommended Us to him first. I said I think you'll like Us a lot more. It's a lot more conventionally horror and thriller. But then I'm like, you gotta watch his other stuff. Like it's so good. Like you gotta watch his other stuff. And he's like, oh, Get Out. That's him. And I'm like, yeah. And he goes, oh my God, Get Out's like one of my favorite movies like ever. And I'm like, oh yeah. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, yeah. Then like you definitely need to watch Us and then Nope. He's like, Nope. Oh, I think I've heard of that. I think I wanted to check that out. And I thought he would like Us more than Nope, but he came back and he was like, dude, Nope. Like, he was like, oh my God. He was like, I absolutely adore that movie. And I'm like, oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So, and for me, I mean, I didn't see it it was one that I wanted to see in theater. I was pissed that I didn't see this in theaters because I remember like so vividly or so vocally being like, yes, it is a Jordan Peele movie. I will see it in the theaters. I need to, or whatever. I just never got around to it. But when I watched it for the first time, I don't know if it just came out on VOD or something. I'm not sure. But I watched it. I'm like, I just instantly fell in love with it. And I'm like, yeah, no, this is, I think I watched it like immediately the next day. Maybe, I don't know. I don't think it was the same day. I think it was the next day. I just put it back on.
It's so good, man.
And it's such like, the first watch is so different than the second watch. Like the first time, like I had no idea that like I knew that there like I saw the trailer and I saw like the little rainbow rope thing just flying around and like okay, so there's like some sort of thing that's flying around, but like I had no idea it was like an alien or like I don't know, like I was like I had no idea where this movie was going at all, like on the first watch, and it was just a roller coaster.
It's so fucking good, man.
Yeah, and I don't know, it's just a chill movie too. Like I love the thriller aspects of it. It's not really that scary, but there are some times where it does ramp up a bit, and your heart's kind of racing a little bit. But I think it's just the story that is so good. Of just in history's probably going to repeat itself. This shot's going to get out. Somehow that camera survived.
Right.
Like it was out over there. Right. Did the I forgot it. The dude's name that
the
gets
cinematographer.
The shot. Yeah. Is he doesn't have a name? Is he just the cinematographer?
No, he gets a name. I can't remember. What
okay. But Antlers Holst, maybe.
Yeah.
Because I think he gets sucked up in there.
Was a one-eyed, one-horned.
Yeah, he gets sucked up in there, but then the Radio Shack, not radio, but like the the UFO.
There's another camera over there that they have. He takes like the handheld IMAX camera and takes it up the hill, and
because he's filming it as he's like getting sucked in.
yeah.
But I feel like there's a shot of like the camera falling out, and then like the Radio Shack dude like sees it or something like that.
Oh, I don't remember. That.
Maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong there. Actually, maybe that can't. Yeah, did that camera just go up there with him?
I think so.
And, like it's just sucked up,
I'm under
and
the impression of.
Maybe he's just hoping it's going to be spit back out. One day.
Yeah,
they'll find it. Because that's what killed the
Keith
dad
David.
originally. It was just like a penny or like a coin or or whatever it was that just was spit out. So it does spit out all the trash. I guess it digests.
Exploded, so it went somewhere.
That's true. Oh yeah, it's probably the camera's just destroyed.
Yeah,
Probably, yeah. Now that,
but
yeah, no, it's just
did get the well shot.
That's true. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, I was trying to say like that shot would be like how
crazy.
How long does he keep it rolling? Like
right.
When does it cut? And like to see that shot would be, I don't know, that he got the shot. Whether
right.
anyone saw it or not, probably not. But goddamn,
magic soon.
It was perfect. Oh my god! And that like TMZ, like dude out there in his motorcycle, just gets flung off. He's like broken
Where's
leg,
my
broken
camera?
arm.
Why
He's
aren't
like,
you filming
get my
this?
camera, film this, please. Yeah, it's like, man, I don't know.
Sorry, dude. Yeah, whenever he's like, "Come on, we gotta go," and he sees it like show up above him, and he's like, "Sorry, man. Like you're dying. I tried."
Yeah. What a horrid. Like the inside of that thing, like you stay in there for a little bit too, and you hear just the noises and the screams, and it's
then
just
you hear the
terrible.
And you're like the silence that follows.
Absolutely terrible. That's just oh my god. Like we think of aliens as like these little itty bitty beings and like these UFOs that fly around, or whatever. They could probably kill us if they wanted to, but like this is so much more scary. Like to think it is the ship, or it is like the being itself.
Part of the movie is when Angel is over at their house, and they've set up all the cameras and stuff, and then it shows up, and Daniel Kaluuya's out in the truck, and he like peeks out. He's like, he sees it, he goes, nope. And then they're inside, and it flies over the house and rains blood. Like, that's the part where I'm like, oh my god, this is fucking different. The shot of it hovering above the house, and it like, oh my god, so fucking good, dude.
And then it opening up, like the like layers, like whenever it's like showing itself, like OJ's like taking it on, he's like, he being the big man. Oh my god! And like it just fly like it was what a unique like alien sort of adaptation.
A great idea, dude.
Yeah, it's just crazy and like
and I love the part where Daniel Kaluuya looks at Keke Palmer at the end. He does the little hand gesture where it's like all the eye stuff in the movie. Like I'm watching you, I'm looking at you. Don't look at him. All of it is just so fucking good, dude. Like,
Don't Look Up might be a better title for this movie than the Don't Look Up movie.
Yeah.
It's kind of, I don't know. Like if you don't look at it, you're all good. But goddamn, us curious humans, like, I don't know. Is that alien? Like, is his ego just really frat? Like, what is it? Is it just an intimidation thing? Like, it sees like if you just look at it, it's like, oh well, I have to kill you now, or like, is it just like, I know I could kill all these humans and I could suck all of them up, but I'll only kill the ones that look at me.
That's a good question. I kind of take it as like I don't know, maybe it is simple. It's similar to the horse, where if you do that, it's like frightening to it, and its fight or flight is fight, and it's like, well, I'm just gonna eat your ass then, like maybe it takes it as a threat more than anything.
Yeah.
Whereas, yeah, I don't know. That's interesting. I've never really considered why, if they look at it, what the deal is there. But man, I love Nope. That's a great fucking movie, and I didn't have it too far. I had it in the last part, in the top 20, but didn't quite make my top 10 personally. But it's so fucking good, dude. It's one of the most enjoyable blockbusters of the 20s so far.
Love me some Jordan Peele. Yeah, I'm very interested to see whatever this dude is making next.
I will be watching his career with great interest.
Very, very great interest indeed. Yes, that's for sure. But yeah, that's where Nope landed for number 7. Man, holy shit, we're getting up there.
We are indeed. But my number 7, I'm doing another director for the director spotlight we did. This is I rewatched this yesterday, and it didn't climb, but it stayed right where it was at. I'm happy with it. My number 7 is Greta Gerwig's Little Women, 2019.
Oh yeah.
This movie is just the most recent viewing where I watched it and went, this is that. This is one of my favorite movies of all time. It's making me feel in ways that I can't even comprehend. And I wanted to, I didn't want it to be recency bias how high I put. So when I rewatched it yesterday, I was really hoping that I was still like, yeah, this is top 10. Because off the first watch, I had the gut, this is top 10. And I was hoping that on rewatch, it would feel that way. And I wouldn't be like, man, this probably does belong more at like 15 or something like that. No, it's right. It's exactly where it's supposed to be, man. This movie, it's so incredibly moving. I think the adapted screenplay that Greta Gerwig does here is probably the greatest of all time. It's astonishingly well done. I think that Saoirse Ronan is incredible in it, along with Florence Pugh, and they're really the highlights of the movie. I love Timothée Chalamet in it. The movie just it hits me in the feels and just destroys me, man. This is the one that I got to show Emily. I got to show Emily this yesterday, because she'd never seen it, and yeah, like we were watching it, and she cried at all the parts I cried at, and I was like, "Yep, this is." I'm glad you feel the same way, because I'm not alone in this. But
I love how we just went in being like,
I
all
didn't
right,
expect it.
we have Lady Bird, and we know a little bit about it, or like whatever. Like, I think you've just seen it before, right? Like you've already
Lady Bird, yeah.
So like you just knew, and you're like, okay, yeah. And then we'll get to Little Women. It's all right, but then we'll have Barbie. Like,
I certainly didn't expect the top 10 favorite movie of all time for me.
I know.
That's not what I expected.
It was crazy. I turned it on. I'm like watching. I'm like, oh wow, this is. It looks pretty good. Like visually pretty good.
It takes a while for you to like get into. Yeah, you're like it doesn't take you a while to get into it, but you're just kind of like, oh okay,
like
oh this is good.
I don't really know where it's going, but
oh this is fucking good, man. I can't.
Like, exactly. You're like I don't know where this is going, but I'm intrigued a little bit, and you're like, oh okay, these girls are super. Like okay, like I'm liking them a whole lot more. Like I'm actually invested now. Like this is like this cute little family, and then the whole love triangle, or I don't know what to put.
Dude,
man.
It's heart-wrenching, man, and the way that it's kind of like it's paced in a way where it tells you some of the stuff that is going to happen, and you don't really understand the importance of it until it does come around. Like at the beginning of the movie, Florence Pugh says something to Timothée Chalamet's character about like, I'm so sorry that Joe turned you down. Like that happens within the first 10 minutes of the movie.
Wow.
And then you get to that scene, and it's one of the most emotionally riveting scenes of the entire fucking movie. Whenever he's like, the line delivery I will never ever get past is you will find someone and you will love them completely because that is your way, and I'll watch. I fucking lost it, bro. I cannot hold it back at that point. And I mean, Beth's death, fucking just heart-wrenching. I mean, the point when the flash to, coming back from that flashback. You see her having made it out of the sickness, and their father come home, and he's like, "Oh, my little women," and you see that they have this time together, and then you cut back to Saoirse Ronan and the cold blue dull lighting, and you just know that shit wasn't right. It's one of those moments where your breath catches in your throat.
You're like,
no.
Oh, you're like, no,
Yeah,
like it. You were on this happy ride just for a little bit, and it was great. It's great, but then like it cuts back, and you're like, fuck. You're like, no. Like,
heart.
Honestly,
stuff,
might be
dude.
one of the best deaths.
Oh yeah,
in all of it. Like, I don't know. I'm trying to think of like a death that was. I don't know. It's up there. Like that. It was so beautifully done, and yeah, Greta. I mean, oh my God, is she on a tear? Like that. That's insane.
I'll watch anything she does ever again. Because
you said the book was kind of boring, or is it known to be kind of?
No, I mean, like it's just like the way they describe it in the movie. It's like, who wants to read about just the slice of life sort of thing. And
I see.
It's not that the book is boring; it's incredibly good. It's just long, and it's not formatted the way the movie is. It's chronological. It's the order of which things happened, and it's boring. I mean, like it's just it's a long read. It's not riveting. The movie makes it riveting a little bit more. It paces things where it's like, oh man, this is the back and forth of it all.
Yeah, that is really cool. Jumping back and forth.
That's
a really cool way to tell
so
it.
well done, man. The part when Lori and Joe are dancing outside of the dance hall where the dance is going down, but she'd burned her dress, so they're outside and they do like the wacky dances when they're not by the windows, and they cross the windows and they walk
like normal and then go back to it. Their little club they had where
this is the movie that Timothée Chalamet, based off of The French Dispatch. I was on my way to liking him. Lady Bird, I was even more on. I was like, oh yeah, this is awesome. And Little Women is when I was like, I fucking love Timothée Chalamet. Like the way he can portray the range of love that he experiences in this movie. Because for Joe, it's this best friend longing for something more. For Amy, it's a realized love. He eventually recognizes that he loves her too. And then for the other girls, for Beth and Meg, it's just like a brotherly love. Like he looks out for them and wants to protect them, and kind of just Mr. Lawrence, his dad, whenever he's like hanging out outside of the house. And he's like, Joe walks up to him and he's like, I'm sorry, the house isn't the same without her here, and I can't go in there.
The piano, he's just sitting on the stairs listening to her play, and then
dude, you remind me so much of my girl. Like, oh my God, dude, that movie tears me the fuck up.
That movie's fucking beautiful. Holy
it is
shit.
A wonderful film, man, and probably my favorite. I think this is, I mean, I can tell you, this is my favorite movie based on a book. Officially, at this spot, and I think it's more than deserving of that. It's fucking beautiful, man. I adore Little Women with all my heart, so I have it here at 7.
All right, so moving on here to my number 6, almost the top 5, but 6 right outside of it. This one was going back and forth. I guess this one I think was the only switch I made. I think in all my rewatches and everything were these two. So this was 5, but then it went down to 6. I don't know. It might just be I'm most recent off of what took its place. So maybe that's it. I don't know. But they're very close regardless. Anyways. You just we're on a director's streak here.
Yes.
I'm going with a Wes movie. It's my top Wes movie of the list, and it is 2014's The Grand Budapest Hotel. And I think whenever we started the West Project at the very beginning, this was the one I was the most excited for. Only because I think it was probably the only West movie I've ever heard of. Like before that, I just remember hearing so much about this movie for whatever reason. And that was the only reason. I'm like, yeah, this is the one I'm just most familiar with, but I'm really not familiar with it at all in the first place. Right. And it was just one of those ones where we were already, I had a few West movies in my pocket, so I knew what he was all about. This wasn't like it was my first West movie, so it was nice to see all of his techniques and stuff be used in this movie. And it was, I don't know, it feels like he just reached a different level in this movie visually, and then the story also just happens to be just really hit. Like, I don't know, it's one of the most fun like West movies I have watching, and it's I was going back and forth between this and Fantastic Mr. Fox for my favorite West movie. And I think both of them are just both incredibly fun and easy to watch. Like they're both are so good, but I think I get more emotional payout for sure with Grand Budapest. And yeah, there's just, I don't know, the colors in this movie are just so goddamn beautiful, and like just every shot has a purpose, and it's so good. And I don't know, I like it is. Yeah, Ralph. I don't know. Is it
Rafe Fiennes?
Rafe. That's right, Rafe Fiennes. I forgot how we discovered that one.
Yeah, Rafe Fiennes.
That was quite the discovery. But man, yeah, I don't know. I think I'll take this performance over Voldemort any day.
Yeah,
for my money. Voldemort, I don't know. That's pretty good. That's pretty iconic. But Gustave, Monsieur Gustave. Oh my god, dude. The like secret. What was the key club called? Oh man, the Locked Key. No, maybe
the Order of the Crossed Keys or something
Crossed
like that.
Keys. There it is. Yeah. That. Oh man, that was just so cool. Like going all those phone calls, just zipping through everybody, and then Bill Murray is like he's the guy that comes out and helps him, picks him up in a car. I don't know, takes him. I forgot where he takes him to.
Pretty sure he takes them up into the mountains, and they go up the lift,
right.
and
that's right, into the church, yeah.
Are you? And then it leads them to the downhill snow chase with Willem Dafoe.
Yeah, everyone asking him, "Are you Monsieur Gustave at the Grand Budapest Hotel?" Or whatever. Like every single person stopping by and asking him. But I don't know. It's also one of those ones where it's like kind of like a story within a story, like within a story. Like it's. Who's the author? Yeah, Jude Law, just the writer, who's hearing it being told
from F. Murray Abraham.
Yeah, and then we actually get like the first person viewing of it. I don't know. I not a bit like. I guess like in his other movies, it's more kind of obvious. Or not obvious, but like it's like a book or. Like a play or a magazine. Yeah, I guess this is just a book that a girl was reading at the grave of the publisher
or who's.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So it was Jude Law's grave. Yeah, I mean, so I guess there are a lot more layers than it just being Jude Law and Zero. But man, yeah, I don't know. This is just a fun, and I love it's fantasy, but also like very real world at the same time. I mean, they're obviously Nazi, like whatever they're called, the like double Z, the zigzag, I don't know, something like that. But yeah, I don't know. This is it. Mr. Fox and this kind of go back and forth as my favorite West movie, but this one I kind of hold on a different level than Fantastic Mr. Fox, just for how it's made. I don't know, they're different movies, and stop motion and live action are different entirely, but I don't know, I do get a little more emotionally out of Grand Budapest, so that's why it did elevate a little bit higher. But
fuck yeah.
Mm-hmm. And we'll
No,
be
I love Grand
getting some
Budapest.
freaking New West this week, dude. Oh my god, that is
Today,
crazy.
as of the release of this
That's nuts,
podcast.
dude. Is like the full cast known?
Yeah, it's like Benedict Cumberbatch, Ray Fiennes,
Mm-hmm.
Dev Patel, Ben Kingsley.
Mm-hmm. Man,
There's a few more, but I can't really recall off the top of my head. But
no Jeffrey Wright.
that's the thing is that what I have seen, I think, is just from The Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar, and I
That's
don't know
what I'm
if that's the
saying.
same
Like, are the other
cast.
ones? No, yeah. Is it all the same people? Or
Yeah, I think that we're also getting Rupert Friend in one of them. Let's see. I probably could find it. Let's see. Director of. Yep, Poison will have Dev Patel, Benedict Cumberbatch, Ray Fiennes, Ben Kingsley. The Swan will have Rupert Friend, Ray Fiennes. The Ratcatcher will have Richard Ayoade. And yeah, looks like that's the size of it.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, so it looks like same actors playing the same characters across different stories.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Oh well, this should be a treat.
Oh, it should.
This week it'll be a lot of fun to cover it as well. But that'll be the last Wes from me. The tippy top of my list. But yeah.
My last Wes is also my 6. This is my top Wes Anderson. This is where I have Moonrise Kingdom, 2012. I love this movie, man. It's another one of those ones that just feels like it was tailored for me, more than anything. I think that there's something so profoundly, I don't know, just human about this movie. It feels like it captures the human experience more than any of his works prior. Asteroid City, you can make an argument might be able to capture it more after, but even so, like the innocence of youth and everything, like I think the Moonrise Kingdom captures it so well with Jared Gilman and Kara Hayward there in the leading roles, and for them to headline this movie when you've got powerhouses like Frances McDormand and Bill Murray and Ed Norton and Bruce Willis and all this, like it's just what a special movie, man. I could rewatch this over and over, and it's become something of a great comfort movie for me. I just have the best time watching it, and I will never grow tired of Moonrise Kingdom. And it's just so damn cute, man. It makes me so happy. One of those ones that makes me smile ear to ear by the end there.
In our, I don't know, I'm just Jared Gilman. I've just followed the dude on Twitter a lot. I see him all the time on social media. And I don't know if it is recent. Maybe they've been together for a while, but now they're, I don't know, deciding to go public with it.
His girlfriend.
I just like to imagine that like one of their dates eventually they'll go on like a wilderness adventure.
He'll pitch a campsite and Ed Norton will pull up and be like, "Here, let me grade this for you real quick."
Yeah. They'll get married. They'll get married out in the woods.
Jason Schwartzman.
He'll consummate their marriage.
He'll play the role of Cousin Ben.
Wrong word there. Jason Schwartzman will not. Yeah. But no, this one is definitely the most. I feel like the most comfort. Let's see. Is it the most comfort West movie?
I think the only one you can make an argument for is Fantastic Mr. Fox. Like it's just
this one might have it though.
There's just a beauty
it's
about it.
It's just so
man.
cute too. Like I don't know. It's just like young love. I don't know. It's just like it'll always be freaking.
It's
cute.
precious, man. And there's something so aesthetically pleasing about the beauty of the wooded areas and this island that they're traveling all around, and it just reminds you a lot of what life was like when you were that young, and I think that's wonderful, and how it can embitter you as you grow older and older. I think that's something that you see through Bruce Willis and Frances McDormand and Bill Murray most specifically, like just how much life can change, and the social services played by Tilda Swinton, how she's kind of like, she's a nameless entity. She's just social services. This is, it kind of deprives you of your humanity when you are dealing with taking children away and putting them into an orphanage and stuff like that. Like, it's just a fascinating film, and it's makes me overwhelmingly happy to watch by the end of it every time. And this was one that I got back around to earlier this week, and I was very quickly reminded that it belonged on this list or belonged in the top 10. And I wanted it to be top 5, but there was a rewatch that I had below that ended up climbing above it. Okay. This was top 5 until one more got a rewatch, and it actually broke the seal there.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, so I a couple of Wes's at 6 there. Both our top Wes's at 6. I like that.
Right outside, almost 5. Yeah, my Grand Budapest was almost 5 for me, or maybe not. Maybe it was even higher. I don't know. Than your 5, but no, this. I don't know. I haven't watched it in a little bit. I need to get back to doing it again. But Sam, Jared Gilman's might be one of the most dangerous characters alive.
Sam
just in general,
baby.
In movie history, like he just kind of like he's a kid in this as well. Like, imagine what he's been up to lately. You know, like in the if we can see him today. I don't know what he's capable
the sheriff
of.
With Bruce Willis on the island.
That town is protected. We could say, you know, like they got nothing to worry about. But
Harvey Keitel in the role of the other troop leader on the Camp Ivanhoe, I believe, is the camp that he runs.
Yeah. Ed Norton running in to save him, you know, having him on his back, like just leaps over the
dude. And I love Ed Norton, so like it's just a perfect storm of a bunch of. That's what I love about Wes Anderson movies is I love the director and his writing, and then the casts he has. I love almost every single person in his casts every time, man. You know, like it's just. I love that that's kind of the environment he's been able to create in his movies, and I think Moonrise Kingdom kind of captures that as effectively as any. I think The French Dispatch is the other one I'd argue, like with like the massive cast that you love everybody who's in it, and you just kind of it's just so fun to watch a Wes movie, and this is probably the most one I have watching a Wes movie. So Moonrise Kingdom climbed to 6 for me.
Hell yeah! All right, well, the movie that just swap places with the Grand Budapest. My most recent rewatch as well. Ooh. One that was already comfortably in the top 10 already, no matter what. I knew that. It is 1999, The Wachowski Sisters, The Matrix. From me. And I just watched this last night.
Oh, fuck yeah.
And man, I was like, I had it at 6. I had Grand Budapest at 5, and I was watching it, and I'm like, oh my god, there's just so many cool moments in this movie. Like, I'm smiling from like ear to ear the whole time I'm rewatching this movie. I'm like, oh my god, like I kind of forgot a lot of these moments that happened, but it's so. Once Neo like gets woken up and he's in the Nebuchadnezzar and like he's going through all this stuff. Like once that like you know you just get past the like introductory like world building stuff. It's like, oh my god, it is all gas, like no brakes the whole time, and just the like the first, this is the loading program. Goddamn, I love Lawrence Fishburne. He's so fucking good as Morpheus. Oh my god, I was focusing on him this rewatch. I don't know why. I just had a focus on Morpheus instead of Neo, and just the like his training, like it's. I don't know. I love a dojo. Like, I'm a sucker for the dojo.
You're breathing.
Yeah, and that scene. Come on, that might be like one of my favorite scenes of all time. Like in just movie history. Like there's so many. Like the movie, it's so wild. Saving Morpheus, all that massive gunfight. You know, just the hallway of guns. He's like, what do you need? Guns, lots of guns, and then just piles of guns. Yeah, just and then they take him out. You know, the freaking. Jumping across, the helicopter grabs and flying, like doing shit, and then freaking bullet time. You know, he's dodging bullet, like Neo. You know, at very early stages, he's like, "Are you telling me that at some point I'm gonna be able to dodge bullets?" And Morpheus is just like, "Neo, I'm telling you that when the time comes, you won't even have to." And it's just like he's always so mysterious, like Morpheus.
Yeah.
He's like he's almost like the closest thing to the Oracle. That's not the Oracle. Like this dude just knows what's coming. He's so confident in his revolution and like and that Neo's the one that I don't know. Like I don't know. It's so beautiful. Like the whole it's got the sci-fi going for it. I love that. It's got like I don't know. Probably like I'm trying to think of any movie like I guess Truman Show, kind of like breaking reality. What year did Truman Show? Yeah, it was 98.
98,
so like right
the year before.
Right before. I don't know, kind of it seems that like it's a common like thought like theme like around the year 2002 when everyone thought like computers were going to fucking take over or blow up or some shit cuz they couldn't handle going from 1999 to 2000. I don't know, I love this sci-fi concept very very much as Truman Show and The Matrix are up here.
Oh fuck yeah.
In my top 10, but yeah, Gotta love, man. I love that man, Keanu Reeves. This is, I guess I haven't had the full John Wick franchise under my belt, but I'd say I don't know if I love Neo. I don't know if John Wick's gonna beat out Neo, but I'd say he has a good chance.
I don't know. I think that
I like
on
the
the back
world
of
more of the Matrix, but I feel like I could like the character of John Wick more.
No, I think there's a split there. You know, I think that what's fascinating is that they're just two vastly different characters. You know, they're extremely different, and I think that while I think The Matrix is a far better movie than any in the John Wick franchise, I think beginning to end, I actually like the John Wick franchise more.
Okay.
Although the Matrix movies, because I mean, Reloaded is really really cool. And Revolutions is cool as well.
Mm-hmm.
But they lose me a little bit more than John Wick 2, 3, 4, 2, you know?
I'd agree. Yeah, I think the first is definitely the best of the Matrix.
I actually think Resurrection is massively overhated also, by the way.
Yeah, I had a blast while watching that. I thought it was really fun. I think Reloaded and Revolutions, I think it's just like you kind of just need both of them. Like you need the conclusion of the trilogy after you watch the second one, but the first one can kind of just stand on its own completely.
There's actually a showing for The Matrix in 2 minutes at AMC 20 right now.
Okay, so, don't think we can make that.
We can pull up real quick.
Yeah, we might miss the first couple minutes, but we'll get in when he hits The Matrix, the good part of the movie.
Exactly.
No,
but man, I love The Matrix.
Agent Smith down in the subway. Not running. You know, he thinks about running, but he's like, I'm the one. I'm gonna fucking fight him. Like, I don't know. He's like, there's just so many cool moments in this. I don't know. I love The Matrix. I love the world that they built.
I'm gonna need a gun. I just always think about Keanu Reeves' voice is like,
he's like whisper. He's so loud, but not. You know, it's like he's so quiet that he demands the attention of everyone.
Yeah,
you know,
you need to listen to him when he speaks.
Yeah, yeah. If someone's loud, they're heard everywhere. You don't need to really pay attention. But if they're quiet, he's mysterious. It's like you want to hear him almost. It's like you need to hear whatever he's saying.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's where I'm cracking the top 5.
Dude,
is The Matrix
great fucking movie. I love The Matrix. Probably would have been higher on my list had I rewatched it more recently as well. But man, love that. I love that. My 5 is one that you have already said. My highest ranking musical. 5 is where I have La La Land, 2016, directed by Damien Chazelle, and this is my most recent viewing on in the rewatches here. Just watched this last night. Cried at the ending. Probably, I don't know, 7th, 8th, 9th watch of this movie, and it gets me every time. No matter how in it I am, if as soon as she walks down those stairs and sees Sebs, I'm fucked. It's over. I'm done. I'm done for. That's it for me.
I was so mad, but it was so good at the same time.
So good.
I was like, it's not the ending that you hope for,
But it's
ending,
not.
God damn, is that movie so like visually too? It's
Gorgeous.
so beautiful. It is
Gorgeous
so beautiful.
movie.
And like I don't know, choosing colors for the little Excel thing. This one's another one that's probably pretty easy. I'm trying to
You got
find
the
that like
Lakers.
purple, that like kind of
Yeah.
that good purple, and then the yellow probably letters.
Yeah.
I'd say for
Yeah.
this one. I don't know. Just I love the like the breakouts whenever it's like it's in reality, but then like start singing, and then it just kind of goes into like this massive production
Fantasy land sort of
play.
thing.
Yeah, that is really cool. And
Someone in the crowd will be the one you need to know.
actual like in good sounding songs too. Like I mean, like
Oh,
the
no, like,
music
they
is
go.
actually just so good. Yeah, like that helps like a whole lot.
Always
I mean,
does.
I'd assume. I guess I'm not very versed in the musical scene of all the movies, but like I don't know. Is there really a musical that doesn't have good music? I'd say that's probably like
It's
you
pretty
have some good
quintessential.
music,
I was thinking
yeah.
about that last night when I was watching this. Like, as far as the creation of this score, like Justin Hurwitz, his work on this alongside Damien Chazelle, like for that finale medley sort of thing that they got going on, it's kind of a mashup of a bunch of different songs. There's no words. It's all instrumental, you know, and I like kind of tuned out of what I was watching to just listen to it for a little bit, like focus on the music while still seeing, you know, and really focusing on the listening part. And it like moved me to tears just how incredible the musical motifs are during that, because it plays this instrumental version of all the most important songs throughout the movie as you get to these certain parts of it. And it's this what could have been montage.
Damn.
And dude, it's fucking devastating when they get to the like home video style thing where it's showing how their life could have gone if they had gone to Paris together. And it's no, dude, it's the lighting choices whenever like the whole room blacks out around her as she's listening to him play the piano up there, and she lights up, and it's just like, oh man, I fucking love it. I'm a sucker for it, and I thought I might end up having this lower, but after watching it again last night, I was like, nope, that's top 5. Can't have that below anything. Can't have that below much.
Planetarium, they're like first kiss, they float. Like that's so cool. You know, they could have just kissed and just had a cool moment. They were already in an observatory. It was already looking kind of cool. But then they were like, fuck it. Let's make them float. Let's make them in space. Let's
do a little dance up there.
Yeah. Just fuck it. Let's make it
They
beautiful.
Float down into the seats, and then they lean in and kiss, and they do the little close iris zoom on them, and like, dude, just it fucking rocks.
It does. It came out in 20. This feels like it should have came out like a long time ago for some reason.
Right.
Like I don't know
it's a huge
why.
Homage to classic Hollywood. Yeah.
Yeah. It feels so like too good for 20. I don't know why like that this movie couldn't have been made in like nowadays. But like it just feels like it has this other just grandness to it for some reason. But
it has a timelessness to it, man. It really does. I always text Tavares every time I'm watching it, because I remember the first time that both he and I watched it. He was out in North Carolina visiting family, and we were both up late as fuck, and for him it was later. It was like 2 over there. It was 1 for me.
Damn.
And I was like, yo, you ever watched La La Land? He was like, no, I think I'm gonna watch it right now though. And I was like, fuck yeah, me too. Brewed up a pot of coffee. It was back when I did pots of coffee too, not Keurig K-cup shit. Like it was like it was like that.
Yeah.
And I remember pouring it up, sitting there, 1:30. It gets to like 2:30 a.m. and she starts singing the audition, and I'm sitting there just and
man,
so like one of the funniest things that I can say confidently is that every time I watch La La Land, I think of Tavares, which is funny. You know, like
yeah. Yes.
No,
how life goes sometimes, you know. You have weird little connections with things like that.
So,
but
first time we both watched that movie was the middle of the night. We were in completely different parts of the country, connected by the experience that was La La Land.
Nice. No, yeah, I don't know. I need to go for more musicals, man. I think Hamilton's my next one. I've just heard so much about Hamilton. Like, I think is that more of like the movie that people talk about, or like the actual show?
It's like the movie on Disney Plus is the show. It's a filming of the Broadway production.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Then. So
there's no movie adaptation of it, and I'm sure there will be. It's got enough notoriety to certainly be adapted into a movie one day. I'm sure.
I think that's. It seems, I don't know. It's been the only musical that's like called to me, or maybe it's kind of the only one I really know of.
It's one of the most impressive things I've ever seen, simply because I was watching it and I was moved to tears simply by the amount of talent I was witnessing. Because it's not a movie. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like they were like, all right, really take one, action. They went out there and they performed for 3 hours straight. You know, like that was what they did that night. And that fucking blows my mind. That blows me away every time. But that's the thing that makes musical movies so special too, is that you do get a chance to perfect everything, and everything gets to be exactly how you want it. And I think La La Land.
Yeah, you don't have any planetarium shots. You can't do any. I guess you can. Like,
and you can, but you have to get incredibly inventive. You know, like. But
yeah.
And when they do have moments like that, it's all the more impressive, and you're just kind of like, oh my god, you know. So it's a
different ball game. I didn't even know it was just a recording of the.
Oh yeah, it's just filming the actual production, which is part of what makes it very, very cool. Yeah, so I mean, like, I'd strongly recommend Hamilton to anybody. But yeah, La La Land, I'd recommend that sooner. So, which is why we've watched it sooner.
Man, those songs were stuck in my head for so long after we got there for like the 52-year journey. Like, in like City of Stars, I don't like the slow piano. Just like it was just that would be playing in my head just all day. Oh my god.
Are you shining just for me? Yeah, Ryan Gosling kind of kills that one, man. Kind of awesome how much this changed the trajectory of his career to the point where he's doing like musical numbers in Barbie and singing "I'm Just Ken" and stuff. Like, it's
that wonderful musical number in Barbie. It just we need the Greta.
We need the Gerwig musical, man.
I don't know what it is, but oh my god, give us an hour and a half, hour 45, 5 hours of that.
Make my dreams come true, Greta. Give me the musical I've been waiting for. Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone. Just do it. Just do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't care what it is. Just that.
Give it to me.
Okay. Well, moving on to quite the different movie. Not a musical. There is a musical moment in this movie, I guess, that is really nice. Did you got that off of that?
I think so.
No way, off of that? Insane, if true. But this is a movie. I feel like this is.
No, go ahead. Sorry.
Is that actually? No way. I think you might actually have it.
Oh, I know for sure.
But I feel like this is like the first movie that I watched that I was like, oh, like this was actually like a really, really just good, like well-made movie. And I don't know how old I was. Well, no. Yeah, I guess I would have been in high school, would have been junior. I'd say I would have been a junior in high school. And I watched this and I'm like, oh my god, wait, this was like, I don't know, I think it was like the first time I experienced just a really good movie. And I was like, sort of,
no, go ahead, sorry. I'm excited, I want to
know. Yeah, anyways, I guess I'll get to it. It is 1994's The Shawshank Redemption.
Ooh, okay.
By Frank Darabont. And I think it was partly like the twists that come with the movie. I think it's probably one of my favorite twists in any movie. Like just plot twist, just how he escaped, and then like realizing it all. How he did it, like the rock going through the poster, and then all the pieces flood in and come together. I think the first time I watched it, I was like, oh my god! I'm like, holy shit! Like, I guess, like, I don't know. When I watched the movie the first time, like, I guess I kind of maybe assumed there was going to be an escape or something in there. But like just the way it all came to like was just so sick, and like the way how all the money, like he was just setting himself up. That dude was like
Genius.
cooking in prison, dude. Just like passive income, just free rent, free meals. Obviously a pretty bad lifestyle. Some pretty shitty things happened to him in prison, but he set himself up. You know, I mean, he got some nice living now that he's out. And
Down in Zihuatanejo.
Man, is Morgan Freeman just like one of the absolute like national treasure? I feel like if no matter what you say about AI, whatever, we need to preserve this dude's voice somehow forever. And like if this is the only human voice that is ever heard ever again, like I kind of want it to be Morgan Freeman's. Like if we could only send one voice to the aliens or some civilization.
Hello, visiting friends.
Yeah.
From other galaxies.
Can you imagine if like a whole civilization thought that that's what we all sounded like? Like, I mean,
we would probably rule the universe.
They'd be like, "Oh my god, these people are we don't understand. They're on a different
aliens.
Level." Apparently,
is the voice of God.
I just saw something. Morgan Freeman is narrating something that's being produced by Steven Spielberg, and it's about like life of the Earth, but like dinosaurs and like it's kind of like Our Planet. I think it's a continuation of Our Planet or something like that. I don't know. I just saw that on Twitter. I don't know. That's all I saw. It was a very brief thing. But Morgan Freeman and Spielberg, I saw those names together, and I was like, oh, movie? And then just a documentary or something. But I guess back to Shawshank here. I don't know. It's just when you get to the end, I don't know. Like him, he's got to crawl through so much shit, literally. But like he gets out there and like it's just raining. He puts like his arm. Like I remember that shot. Like that shot of him just free and like just raining and him just like just smiling, just like
because
he did it.
Years in the making, man.
Yeah, like this man, he was smart. You know, whether he did the crime, kind of seems like he did. I don't know, a lot of alcohol to blur that line there, I guess.
Yeah, it's true.
So we might never know. But regardless, this dude was pretty smart. And escaped.
Doesn't somebody confess to the murder?
Oh,
to
that's
the
right.
Kid?
Oh, hello, duh. Literally, and then he dies because the warden has him offed. Hello. But yeah, no, this. I think just Tim Robbins and Morgan Freeman just going off each other the whole movie is just like, and when he opens up his school too, he keeps sending like the senators or something letters over and over and over, try to get books for a library or whatever, and they're like, all right, finally, fuck, whatever, dude, here's some books, and then he like just I don't know, it's him. Oh, the music moment that I was talking about is him just in the offense, just sitting back, feet kicked up on the desk, and everyone's smiling, and man, I could have Morgan Freeman narrate anything.
I don't know what they were saying.
Yeah,
they could have been saying anything.
He makes every moment so much better. Like it's just automatic, and beautiful. I mean, there's some devastating parts of the movie.
Brooks was here.
Yeah, man, that's just goddamn like, homie.
And the fact that he sent that letter to the prison, because it's like what Morgan Freeman is reading.
Mm-hmm. Homie just had his little bird. He had his life, and he fed his bird. He had to let the bird go, man. Oh, dude. That's just... I don't know, but this is like critically... It's probably not the best movie I've ever seen critically.
It's amongst them, though.
But yeah, it's like it is up there. Like, I mean, I'd say this is... I mean, it's always kind of up there on a lot of people's lists. I think this... I don't know. Let's see. I have it pulled up on IMDb.
Pretty widely considered one of the greatest movies of all time. Yeah.
Yeah, 9.3 on IMDb, and I don't know. I just remember being just taken away first time I watched it, and I'm like, I gotta see that again. Like, I'm like, oh my god, I have to now, knowing what I know, what happens. Now I have to see it all come together. And yeah, I mean, just critically, and I don't know. It is I guess 2 hours 22 minutes. But man, I don't know. I just every time I put it on, it is captivating. Like I can't,
man.
I
Yeah.
can't, I can't look away. But yeah, good old Red and Andy Dufresne.
Andy Dufresne.
Man, I wish I could
the
do
man with the silver spoon in his ass.
Man. Yeah,
I don't know, man.
definitely not all sunshine and rainbows. In there.
Far from it. Clancy
Andy,
Brown and
Yeah.
Warden Norton.
Warden Norton.
Sick fucks.
Captain Hadley. That dude. About to drop Andy off the roof, and he was like, hey, I'll show you how to get 10K tax free or whatever. I don't know, something like that. He like a tax loophole.
You trying to?
Yeah, and then he did everyone's taxes.
Gift.
Yeah, and then he's like doing every guard's taxes. He's doing like no, dude was a hustler.
I'm a hustler, baby.
Yeah, dude deserves to be out. It was innocent anyways, so it didn't even deserve to be in there in the first place.
Fuck yeah.
But yeah, that is my number 4.
But yeah, the conflict where he was in there for so long, he doesn't remember whether or not he did it. You know, he's like, maybe I did. You know, I've been here for so long that like, what if I did do it?
So focused on his plan. It's all he can think about. Just slowly chipping away. Just putting rocks in his pants and then dropping them out in the yard. You know? That little itty bitty pick, dude. My God. Like.
No wonder it took fucking 14 years or whatever the fuck.
Yeah. People, I don't know, a lot of people are like, I can't believe it. How can he crawl through the tunnel and then close the poster behind him? And I'm like, if this dude figured out how to send money to a different fucking country, avoid all this tax shit, and dig a tunnel, like, I think he can figure out a way to peel a poster and, like, have it closed behind him. You know? I don't know. Like, dude.
If you just tack it at the top, you can lift it, crawl through, like, and then let it fall.
This dude escaped prison, and you're saying he doesn't know how to get a poster flush on the wall whenever he's digging at night? Like, really? Like, that's what you're hung up on? Like, but no, just a beautiful, like, movie, and I think would probably just be the first movie that I was like, oh, like that I could call a film, maybe. Yeah. You know, like this, it felt different. I was always just in comic book movies or just, I don't know, literal kid movie. Like I would just watch like funny Adam Sandler movies or I don't know, like, whatever I did in middle school and early high school. But then I became a man when I watched Shawshank Redemption.
Became a man watching Shawshank Redemption.
No.
Literally and figuratively.
But yeah, man, wow, we're getting up there. We are getting up there.
Yeah, we're here, man. We're here. I've been debating on my 3 and 4.
Ooh.
Whether or not to switch them like the entire time, so I got a choice to make.
Yeah, this is it. Right here.
I think I'm going to do it. I'm going to take
You're gonna make the switch?
I've considered my top 3. A very specific set of 3 movies for years. Or about a year and some change. And then I rewatched this movie for probably the third or fourth time ever this week. That it has to go above it. So this is going to be my 4. My 4 is Steven Spielberg's Raiders of the Lost Ark, 1981. This movie is so special to me, man. I could just watch it and 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 never get tired of it. I think I've watched it 5 times this year. Just rewatched it a few times already this year. Watched it several times last year. Watched it several times the year before. You know, it's just one of those that I will never get tired of. Harrison Ford is so special, and Karen Allen as Marion Ravenwood is Mount Rushmore character crush right there.
Okay. Yeah.
Fucking love Marion Ravenwood and Raiders of the Lost Ark. This rounds out the Indy franchise. I had all 5 of them. This franchise has been so special to me. And Raiders more than any of them, you know. It is because it is the first one I ever watched, and it's just stuck with me, you know. It's always been there, you know. Anytime I'm considering a movie to watch, I'm like, I could just watch Raiders again. You know, like it's one of those. You know, fighting Nazis, killing Nazis. Love that. Hard not to love that, especially when the director, Steven Spielberg, a Jewish man, of course he wanted to make a movie about killing Nazis. Fuck yeah, let's do that. Harrison Ford headlining it, absolutely loving the role of Indiana Jones. Makes me so very happy.
Yeah.
It's just
actual love. I mean, how could you hate this character? I mean, God, he's just
he's the best.
Yeah, badass. Probably making like, I don't want to say archaeology. Is that his like main job? Like, I guess he was a professor. And, like,
a professor of archaeology.
But yeah, I guess like if you're just up there in the, I guess, academy world, you're always teaching but doing your research on the side, I guess.
Yeah, if you get a grant, you can go and do a dig with your students and stuff like that.
That's probably the coolest professor in the world.
Yeah. How many countless people from that were children in the 80s became archaeologists because they saw Indiana
That's what
Jones?
I'm saying. I mean, like, if this is what the job description included, I mean,
I'm there.
I guess we're not fighting Nazis anymore. I guess
we could.
Maybe. I mean, yeah, I guess, sadly. Still, probably could.
They're out there.
But man, I want to go in a temple and just avoid booby traps, and then find some treasure, and study an old map that came from somewhere from somebody that no one knows how to translate. But then I see a map, gotta know. Like I love the any movies that have like this exploration.
Dude,
sort of just
the travelogue
that builds an exploration.
Yeah, the travelogue adventurous spirit here, where we go from the university he teaches at to Nepal, to the jungles in South America, to Cairo, and just like all these different places around the world, and that's just so fucking fun, man. And
we're natural explorers, us humans. We love to explore. And, I don't know, this treasure is always just, goddamn. Like, I mean, the treasure could be anything. It could just be a crate of gold. I don't care. It's just like the adventure to go. Like, it's just like, that's all I need. I need a treasure map and a few of my buddies, and let's go,
Let's get it. Where's my Sala and Marion Ravenwood, and I'm in,
Yeah, just turns out this treasure can just absolutely wipe out cities,
civilizations.
I guess. I don't know. Yeah, just anything. Just don't look at it.
Don't look at it.
Yeah. Just okay.
A bit of a nope connection there.
Nope inspiration.
Perhaps.
I think it's more of just the.
It's a radio to speak to God
maybe it's more
Belloc
of like
Belloc.
The trope
Belloc.
of I forget the exact verbiage, but something along the lines of like, we all acted so fast we never really stopped and asked ourselves if we should in the first place. Even if we should.
Jurassic Park.
Yeah, is that where it comes from?
Yeah. You concerned yourself so much with whether or not you could, you didn't think of whether or not you should. Yeah,
exactly. So it's like you want to look this alien from Nope in the eyes. You want to look at the power from the Ark so bad, but you
don't look at it, Marion.
It's too much for a human to handle.
Don't open your eyes.
Love just seeing Nazis blow up and melt and
dude,
wisp
what's
away,
not to like? What's not to like, man?
This
love
is the
this
OG
shit.
Infinity Gauntlet right here, dude. This was like
facts.
The first, not really a snap, but I don't know, kind of like seeing people melt away. I don't know. I don't know. There's probably some example in a movie before.
Nah, man. I'll never get tired of this movie. I actually, one of the characters whose performance I've grown to appreciate a great deal is Belloc, the other archaeologist who is working with the Nazis and doesn't have a moral compass. Who's like, I'm you. That's just willing to go a little bit farther. That whole thing. The part of the movie when him and Marion Ravenwood are like having a drink off, and they're just going back and forth drinking this shit, and she's like, this is good stuff, and like they're like laughing their asses off, and he goes, I grew up with this is my family label. I don't know what it is about the line delivery. I fucking love it every time. There's like a couple of those in this movie where every time I see it, I don't like, it almost feels random. I don't know why they did it the way they did it, but I love that they did it that way. There's
someone pointed
earlier
out, like,
in the movie.
Oh,
Go ahead. Sorry.
I was just an Ahsoka kind of reference that the golden beam, the path to Peridia, like kind of people of the. Is this in Raiders or is that the?
That's Raiders. That's Raiders.
Yeah, when he sticks the little staff and like the sun goes like perfectly through it.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Yeah. That's Raiders.
On the map to that, but I didn't even think of that whenever I saw it in Ahsoka.
I didn't either. I thought of it when she burnt the map into her hand. You know,
that's
like
what
that
I thought was going to happen, dude. I so thought that it was going to come back and she was going to be like, I know where to go now, and gonna just do the Raiders thing. But she just said, "Fuck it, I'll hop in a Purrgil.
I'll hop in the mouth of this giant space whale."
Yeah.
There's a line read when Sala is kind of breaking the situation down for Indy. He's like, there's some Belgian archaeologists that they're all working for, and they call him Belosh or Belosh. And Harrison Ford kind of laughs. He's like, Belloc. I can't even replicate it. I don't know what it is. I think it's fucking hilarious, though. The way that he presents it, it's like almost kind of dickish. It's like, I don't know. Did you expect? He doesn't know the fucking guy. Why are you laughing at him like that, man? I don't know. It kills me, though. I love Harrison Ford. I love Marion Ravenwood. I love Karen Allen. She's incredible in that role. And I mean, the whole fight in the saloon in Nepal that she runs, one of my favorite parts in any movie ever.
Like walking up, or is that after or before? Is that before?
That's before. That's when he's just pulling up. But
like
then
Darth Vader.
Yeah, the whole thing pulls up, and they all pop off. The place burns down. And she's like, I'm your partner, in the wind blowing up in the mountain. Like, God, I fucking love it. I love Raiders. And talking about it kind of makes me wish I would have gone with it at 3. But my 3, I'm sure I'll talk about it and go, God, I wish that was my 2, and so on and so forth, you know? So,
that's the thing, man. Yeah, these top 3 are just kind of like...
The top 5, top 10, really. I'm just like, I love all these fucking movies.
That's
but
true.
This top 5 is kind of like, it's my top 5, you know?
There's a reason they're up here. That's true. I mean, it is just on the day, you know, like that's the thing. Like, the Shawshank Redemption and The Matrix, that's very different moods to be in, to watch both of those movies. I don't know.
Yeah, La La Land and Raiders.
Exactly. Yeah. So, okay. Wow. Well, cracking the top 3. Oh man.
Nobody.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
It's okay.
It's okay.
Give it to me. It's fine.
This, I believe, maybe the Batman came out after. I don't know. Well, Oppenheimer definitely came out after. I was about to say this is the most recent movie on my list, but that's just not true at all because
Batman actually came out before.
Yeah, and then okay. Oh, so you know exactly what this is.
Yes.
Anyway, this one was almost number 2. And then I got honest with myself, and I'm like, okay, can I really put this above an entire franchise?
Yeah, that. Yeah, we know. I know.
But that's the thing, is that it was almost there. Like it and we'll just talk about it. It's 2022. Everything, Everywhere, All at Once by Daniel Kwan and Daniel Scheinert.
Yeah.
Scheinert. But man, I don't know. I remember you telling me like I got to see this movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like I remember I watched the trailer and I'm like, what the hell? I was like, honestly, I was like, what? This, like, I'm like, okay, like, I mean, yeah, Michelle, like, I've heard of Michelle Yeoh, and I'm like, okay, there's a pretty big name in here, and I'm like, okay, it's probably gonna be good. I did not expect to come out of this movie off the first watch and be like, oh my fuck, I'm bawling my eyes out already. First watch, I don't know for how long, I was probably good the last 30 minutes of the whole movie, 20 minutes of the movie. I'm crying the whole time, and I'm just like, this is like one of the best movies I've ever seen in my life. I'm like, oh my god, and Marvel and DC, and they're wondering how to deal with all this multiverse stuff, and I don't know, this is just kind of like the gold standard. Like, I'd say just like, yeah, this is how you do it. I don't know. It's just a story about a family. It's not even no franchises, no crazy character, cameos that make the multiverse worth it. It's just, I don't know. It's part of the movie, and they're like, yeah, whatever. There's Raccacoonie in this,
Raccacoonie.
Go everywhere. Like, yeah,
She's seen too much,
man, and just the absolute launch. Like,
we're a family, culinarily.
Yeah. She feels bad for getting
we're
Raccacoonie
cooking.
freaking captured. She goes back and she, boom. I mean, it launches that dude. I mean, that dude gets launched. But yeah, no, this, like, what a movie that you can say that, and then also,
Dude.
You can also say to get, to one universe or one multiverse to the other, however you say that, universe to the other, a dude had to jump onto a butt plug. And that was his, like, what, I don't know what to call that, like their activate, like their
I think it was called a jumping point, or I think it was called a jump point.
Yeah, it's like you just had to do the craziest shit. I guess it makes sense, like you gotta track you down somewhere in the multiverse. Yep. You gotta do something that's just so random.
Give yourself 4 paper cuts in between all your fingers.
Oh, dude, that one sucked. Eating chapstick. I think was one of them.
Whatever you're about to do, don't do it.
Man, oh my god. Whenever they're in is it the IRS? What building are they? Yeah. They're in the IRS building. And, just, what does he put in this? It's his fanny pack. That's right. Oh my god. Just
loads it with rocks.
That's probably that's the cool, like, even before the rocks, he was going off with the fanny pack, and then yeah, just the like sitting himself on the wall, like, of the cubicle, and then I was like, when I was first watching, I'm like, what the fuck's he doing here? I'm like, what, like, what's going on? And I'm like,
he's chilling.
Oh, that's what's going on. I'm like, holy shit, this dude, like, the action in this movie is awesome, like, it's actually sick, but that's like, I don't know. What takes the cake is the story, and just
dude.
Oh my god, it's not even close. Like, this story is unbelievable, and I'm just a mess every time I watch this movie. I think I watched it, for my Star Wars rewatch. I rewatched Andor. I just wanted to watch peak Star Wars, so I watched Andor, and then after I completed Andor, I watched Everything Everywhere All at Once, and it just felt really good. Like, I don't know. Like, I got absolute peak Star Wars, and then peak cinema. Like, right after. Yeah, and I'm like, oh my god, this is just incredible. I just wish I could have experienced it in a theater.
It was wonderful.
And just to see what other people thought about. Like, I don't know, just to hear the reactions, or like, just were people crying? Like,
oh yeah. No, it's fascinating though. It was similar to the Asteroid City kind of experience too. That we had, where I'm experiencing deep, painful emotions, and someone will say something, and then I hear the loudest laugh I've ever heard in my fucking life, and I'm like, "What are you doing? How is that possible right now?" But like, that's just how someone else interpreted the movie. Like, that's just how someone else interacts with it, and I'm like, I'm over here a fucking mess whenever they're rocks going back and forth. And like, that was one thing, is that it was very silent in my theater, which was very, very cool. Like, during that sequence where there's no sound, and it's like, you just stay here, you don't have to do anything, don't have to talk, and then they like laugh, it's like ha ha ha, then it says fuck, like at the top of the screen, and that's when someone went ha ha, and I was like, it's like, fuck, man.
I see. Yeah, theaters, it's give and take,
Oh, it is. Like, and that's the thing, is that beyond that, I had a fantastic fucking time. Like, and that's like, if I can point to one thing, and it's not even that big of a nuisance, like, it's just someone else watching the movie the way they're going to watch the movie. I have no beef with that. It's just, I loved seeing this on the big screen, man. It was such a good movie, and I love it dearly. So I'm glad it's this high on your list too. That makes me feel very happy.
No, it was pretty immediate. Like, even after first watch, I'm like, holy shit, this is top 10. No, it's probably top 5. Well, I don't know. I think at one point it was probably top 2. I think I might have had it above Star Wars at one point, but I couldn't I don't know. Actually, sitting down and thinking about it, putting it in a top 100 list. I knew it was going to be up there, but this is as high as
you can take it.
Probably as high as any movie can get for quite some time. It's going to take.
You gotta
goddamn.
Like, I was mind blown that, like, for the fact that there are 2 2022 movies, 3 in yours, 2 in mine. What a fucking year, man. You know, like,
shit. Yeah. Man. That's true. That was the return of cinema post-COVID. Freaking cinema hit hard, dude. Yeah, we were cooking. We were all just...
Now we're cooking. We're full Raccacoonie in that hoe.
Yeah. Man, we're
a family, culinarily.
What a movie, dude. That's, like, it's insane, the things that happen in there. The, like, hot dog fingers... What other crazy worlds are in there? Yeah, a lot of them are just really brief, I guess. They're not like, it's just like kind of brief moments that you flash. And it freaking oh man, still pisses me off. Who won the oh my god, what's her name? The award?
Jamie Lee Curtis.
The supporting. Yeah, what the fuck, dude? What is that?
I mean, she's like, what pisses me off more. And this is what happened while I was watching the movie. Is like, before she won the Best Supporting Actress for that role, I loved her in the movie. You know what I'm saying? I thought she was extremely funny. I thought she did a great job in a supporting role that was not that important and is not even the best supporting role in the movie. You know what I'm saying?
Really? Like, yeah, like
there are 2 supporting roles in the movie that I would argue are better, and one of them did win. It was Ke Quan, won the Best Supporting Actor. Stephanie Hsu was nominated, and if I'm honest with myself, I think my personal pick would have been Carrie Condon in The Banshees of Inisherin, but I would have loved if Stephanie Hsu won. I would have sooner had her over Jamie Lee Curtis in this movie. You know what I'm saying? So, like, but that's what's so funny is that before she won, I never had any problem watching her in this movie. I thought she was extremely funny, and I did even on this one. But, like, it always comes with that, like, asterisk now every time I'm watching it. Like, damn, like she won the Best Supporting Actor for this, you know?
It's like a bad aftertaste. I don't know. It's like it tastes good going down, or, well, I don't know, at first, but then it's just, something's not right.
Bitter. Here. Yeah, no, it's, she is funny in it, though. She is extremely funny in the movie. I just think that there's at least 3 performances above her that Michelle Yeoh, Ke Quan, and Stephanie Hsu, you know? And, Everything Everywhere All at Once swept the acting categories besides best leading actor. Michelle Yeoh won Best Actress, Ke Quan won Best Supporting Actor, and Jamie Lee Curtis won Best Supporting Actress. It was a big year for them, and it won Best Picture. And like, it's just what a year, man.
Deservingly so.
I think so too.
That's for sure.
I think so too.
Glad I was just. I feel like I'm like the perfect age. I don't know. Like, I feel if I was 16 and this came out, I don't know. I don't know if.
Yeah, no, maybe it'd be different.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's just
I think there's something about being a similar age to Stephanie Hsu in this movie. You know, being a similar age to Joy and kind of understanding the way she feels in a world like this, where you don't know exactly what your place is, and if there's infinite possibilities. And I'm living this, doesn't that kind of fucking suck? And like that sort of thing. But then to realize that if nothing matters, why not live it up sort of thing, like, and I love that that's like the positive nihilism, it's not it's not the nihilism that leads you to go, nothing matters. I don't care about anything. It's nothing matters. So I'm going to care about everything even more. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's the correct way to feel about things, but feel how you will, but. Yeah, I love Everything Everywhere All at Once. So it will be talked about, just not in my 3.
Figured as much.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. My 3, I'm actually taking it to my top 1 romance movie, the highest romance movie I have on my whole thing, and this is where I have 1997's Titanic, directed by James Cameron.
Wow! Oh my God! I knew this was coming. And you haven't said it yet. Okay.
Just kept climbing, man. I rewatched it a few days ago. This is the one. It was at 8. And then I rewatched it again, and I was like, nah, man. I spend this is a lot like Everything Everywhere All at Once, where I spend the last 25, 30 minutes sobbing, but there's a lot of time before that I also sob as well. So, like, James Cameron is someone I've given an unfair shake, I would say, based off Avatar pretty much alone. I like Terminator. I like Aliens. I like this. I like Way of the Water. So yeah, he's got a pretty good track record with me, actually. But Titanic, man, there's something special about this movie. Kate Winslet, like I talked about Ingrid Bergman in Casablanca earlier, and how every shot of her feels so important. It's because you can tell whoever is shooting her thinks she's like filming Titanic. The person shooting this, and James Cameron and the cinematographer, they think Kate Winslet is the most beautiful person living. You know what I'm saying? And that comes through. Like you watch this movie and you go,
yeah,
there's not a single person alive more beautiful than this woman. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of it, and it makes it all the more effective in portraying how everyone is basically vying for her throughout the movie. Everyone wants her. Everyone like they long to be her, or they long to be with her, and that's kind of Kate Winslet's whole thing in this movie. And as Rose, she is fucking incredible. She's definitely the highlight. But I mean, young Leo, I love young Leo. I think he's incredible in this movie. And him as Jack is probably my favorite Leo role of all time. Definitely my favorite Leo movie. I do not have another Leonardo DiCaprio movie in the top 2, so this is my highest.
I remember, I think the first time I ever watched this was probably like with all my cousins and family. I don't know, it feels like a family movie that I watched.
Remember, I was I think I watched this for the first time that I can remember. I'm sure I watched it before this with my mom and stuff, but I was young, and it's 3 hours and 15 minutes, and I'm not sticking around, it's not happening. But I remember being like 13, and my girlfriend at the time was over at the house, and my best friend and his girlfriend were over. It was a little double date, and we watched Titanic. And I remember the part where she's like, paint me like one of your French girls. I got my eyes covered and stuff. They didn't let me watch that because she's my girlfriend. She's like, you can't look at Kate Winslet. Like I said, everyone knows when you're watching Titanic, there's not a more beautiful person alive than Kate Winslet.
Well, like, it's just say, dude. At the first time I watched it, they skipped through this scene, because we're all kids, and they're like, "Oh, the kids don't." This.
Oh, it's one of the best scenes in the fucking movie, though.
Yeah, I guess. Well, and then they do fuck. Well, is it after the drawing that they go down?
It's a little bit removed. There is a gap between that time.
Okay, I think that's the two things that they skipped then, probably for like the movie at first. But then I remember whenever I watched it and then I saw it, like I'm gonna watch this at some point and I'm gonna know whatever I'm not supposed to. Like I felt cool, like knowing.
Yeah, you're
that.
Right.
Like I'm like, oh,
they
now I'm in the know.
Something in
like,
the car that made them hot and sweaty.
I probably had no idea still. I'm like, I don't get that. But
what were they going for a run back there?
I did see the drawing, and then that's pretty simple there. Maybe what got me into drawing in the first place. Is
right.
Now
Spider-Man and Titanic.
Yeah. Seeing Tobey Maguire draw the Spidey suit and young Leo just
drawing Kate Winslet's naked body.
Come on. I mean, that's all I needed. My drawing career started.
Another redhead, Kate Winslet in this one.
I'm telling you, there is something
there.
There's something there, and it's just a pattern. It's just how it is.
It's truly my favorite romantic movie ever put to screen. I think it's just so, because I mean, it's not just a romance movie. There is so much more going on there because like the thriller aspects of it, like when the ship starts to crash. I mean, the tonal shift that happens at that point for the rest of the movie, the edge that you are sitting on the rest of the film, it's unbelievable. Like, there's
also the fact that this, I mean, it's a real thing.
It happened.
Like, you're watching the first parts of the movie.
It's another thing that heightens it,
Yeah, you're lost in the time, and you're like, they're just having fun, and it's, they're just on a cruise ship. You kind of forget that it's going to crash at some, I don't know, like you're just kind of in the fun. And then you're like, oh, wait a minute. Like,
it's all over the course of a day, too.
Like, this happened. They only were sailing for a day?
No, I think it was a day and a half or 2 days. Like, it'd been, at least as far as the movie is concerned. They board, they go sailing for the night. The next day they wake up, and the rest of that day is like the romance that Jack and Rose form over the course of that day. Because she, like, the movie starts off with her thinking she's going to kill herself by jumping out off the boat into the water behind the Titanic. And Jack saves her by going like, well, if you go in, I'm going after you. You know, like I'm involved now. I can't just stand by and watch that happen. So I'm more worried about how cold it is down there than anything. Like the height's not tall enough. You know, like it's just it's fucking beautiful, man. Like the whole
probably one of the most iconic moments in movie, like just at the front of the ship.
Oh, I'm the king of the world.
Yeah, like I don't know. That is just a well-known movie moment. You know, probably.
I mean, there was a point in time when this was the highest-grossing movie of all time.
That's true. Yeah, this is
before
true.
Avatar. James Cameron, back to back with the highest-grossing movies of all time for some reason. Also, by the way, like this guy just knows how to sell.
Yeah, I think I compared James Cameron to someone. Forgot, just someone like someone who makes music that just like every now and then just comes out, just knows how to make a bop. Forgot who it was. Someone. But it's just like, he just, I don't know.
Drops in, makes an absolute fucking banger, and leaves. So, bro didn't release another feature film after Titanic until Avatar. That was his next movie.
What is what? It's not. Yeah, that's weird. There's nothing that could be like insider here, because like the movie has to still be good in order for it to make that much money. Like it can't just be like
people have to go and see it.
Yeah, what the fuck? Yeah, what is up with James Cameron? Is he a time traveler? And then he just knew what the right movie at the time needed to be? You know, he just knows. Dude, what the movie needs to be.
Bro went on a run. He was like Terminator 1984, Aliens 1986, T2 1991, True Lies 1994, Titanic 1997. I'm just going to go ahead and take 12 years off after the highest grossing movie of all time, drop Avatar in 2009, make that the highest grossing movie of all time, take another 13 years off, and drop Way of the Water, one of the highest grossing movies of all time. How the fuck does this man do it? I have no idea, but goddamn do I love it. You know, like that, like I said, the only movie I'm not a huge fan of is Avatar. I actually love Way of the Water. So like when it comes to Aliens, Terminator, Titanic, what's not to like here, man? This man makes some good fucking movies, and I mean this more than any of the other ones for me. I turned this on the other night at about, I think it was 11:30. I was like, I'm gonna go ahead and throw this on. I'll finish it tomorrow. I'm tired as fuck. I'll probably fall asleep about 35, 45 minutes in. 3 hours and 15 minutes later, it is 2:45 in the morning, and I'm sitting up just damn it. You know, like you know, we talk about Oppenheimer for being a very fast 3-hour movie. This one gives it a run for its money.
True. At
3 hours and 15 minutes, it breezes the fuck past you. It is such an easy watch, man, and I fucking love it, dude.
Do you know when, like, about how long into the movie the ship hits the iceberg?
Pretty sure there's still an hour and some change left in the movie.
That's crazy. That last hour has to fly then. Like,
oh, it does. It does.
Man. Yeah. Like when the water just starts to flood and like they're trapped in like the lower levels and like the gates are closed. And he's like, come on, sir, you know, like whatever. And then, oh, dude, it just gets so chaotic.
They also have like the guy who built the ship on board, who's like actually really down with Rose. You know, like she goes up to him and she's like, I know something's wrong. What the fuck's going on? Like, what is this? And he's like, we're going down. It is a mathematical certainty. The ship has an hour, and you have about an hour left in the movie at that point. Because it's like and they let you sit with it, man. Like the amount of time that it spends making contact with the iceberg is the actual amount of time it made contact with the iceberg. Like it's like 27 seconds or something like that. You hear just like it's scraping against the side and the ice falling onto the ship, and just the amount of things they did to fuck up that they kind of show you is just insane. You know, you got Ioan Griffith out on the water, Mr. Fantastic. Is anybody out there?
Yes.
Yeah, you know.
Okay.
He's the only one. He's the only boat who comes back for more survivors. Everyone else just keeps going.
Mm-hmm.
And he picks up Rose. When she's on the ride to America, and they're like, "What's your name?" She says Rose Dawson, bro. I can't fucking do it, dude. Dude, I could just like the very end of this movie after she tosses the heart of the sea into the ocean, and she goes and lays down after Jack has told her, "You're gonna live a long, happy life. You're gonna get married. You're gonna have kids, and you're gonna die comfortably in your bed." She falls asleep that night. And when she dies, what she sees is the Titanic walking up those stairs to that clock to Jack. And they kiss, and that's the end of the movie. And you know, like that, she died. You know, like that's it. I'm like, I lose it, bruh. That's it for me. I'm fucking sobbing at that part. It's, I fucking love the Titanic. And,
did she get married afterwards?
I think she did, because she has a kid. And I don't know if that means she technically, I guess she didn't have to get married, but I can't remember the circumstances specifically surrounding the father of her kid. Yeah, I can't remember. But
kind of rough if like she was married the whole time, and then like her last thoughts were, I mean, like pretty powerful moment. How are you not going to think of like this?
No,
like,
yeah, like that's
is
the
a
love of
moment
your
that's
life, you know,
burned into your brain forever. Yeah, like oh my god. And then just I don't know, but like I guess
it's also marred by this what could have been, you know, like
like if they both got out, like
and they also like I like to think they would have grown old and grown happy together and gotten married and stuff, but they never have a chance to find out, so that romance is always perfect. You know, like there's never anything that can ruin it. It was a straight up day and a half that they were deeply in love.
Love the class, like kind of social commentary that's going on too. Like how everything at the Rich was just like boring as fuck, and like the dinners were boring, and like
they were down there fucking getting it,
and like Rose going up there and like actually
Rose
having
doing
her blast,
the kick-ass
like,
dance, bro.
Like
she killed that shit, bro.
That hype. That I don't know. That's fun.
No, and that's like one of those examples where like whenever they're like spinning and they're like they like hold hands and they're like spinning. The people filming this movie were in love with Kate Winslet, dude. Like it's amazing how beautiful she is in every single fucking shot. Just a genuinely, and I not only is she just a very, very beautiful woman, it's just that like the cinematographer and James Cameron, they both had to admire her a great deal, you know.
Yeah. No, this is definitely a few ticks on the board for why the childhood redhead thing was a thing. I mean, that Rose was definitely a movie crush for quite some time.
There's a video of James Cameron doing like a commentary of the film of Rose's introduction, and she pops up on screen and he like tears up, like just when she shows up, you know, like just like when they first show her on screen. Like it's like she has this breathtaking beauty about her that they managed to capture so fully that it just stood out so abundantly this last time I watched it, how much the people filming this movie loved Kate Winslet. And she's incredible in it. She's definitely the highlight. But like I said, love young Leo. I actually really like Billy Zane in the movie. I think the character is a piece of shit, obviously. Kathy Bates, incredible as Molly Brown. You know, whenever she's like, we got to go back, and everyone's like, no, we're going to stay safe. And she's like, you're all a bunch of fucking cowards. You know, like that whole thing. Incredible. Whenever she's lowering on that boat and she jumps off, like, oh God, it's just so full of treasure. It's a treasure trove of wonderful moments, dude. I love the Titanic.
Insane that people went through that. Like,
yeah. And again, weighted by that idea that this did happen. This did happen to somebody. Not these specific events, but like this overarching event did happen. The horror of this moment where people, when the ship tips all the way up, people jumped off and then it broke and it came down and fucking who knows how many people it fucking crushed. Like that's horrifying. Like it's just what a horrific experience. God. And
that water, that's so cold. That is like, that would, you either drown or freeze. Like,
yeah,
that is terrible. Like, oh my God.
And then the fucking, and then I know I talk about the past storyline, the actual storyline on the Titanic is obviously what makes me love the movie, but the development that the people she's telling the story to in the present, like the way that goes is also very effective, with the guy who's searching for the heart of the sea and the treasure, and they're so detached from what the Titanic was and what happened there that they, like, when the guy breaks it down for her, he was like, yeah, so you see what happened here is like the weight got all shifted here and then it snapped in the middle and just kerplunk. Like he just kind of says shit like that. Mm-hmm. And she's like, that was quite the succinct way to put it. It was a little different experiencing it. And he immediately is like, fuck,
yeah. Oh shit. Yeah, you saw that with your own eyes.
Yeah. No, I still hear the screams at night. That sort of thing. It's like, that? My God.
Oh, I thought she actually says that in the movie. I mean, yeah, that's, oh my God. Like, I mean, like that's the thing. Like compared to regular cruise ships today, the Titanic is puny. Looks like a little tugboat. Like, I don't know. Airplanes make more sense to me than fucking cruise ships. Like,
right?
That doesn't make any fucking sense, dude.
How can this giant fucking thing float on the water, bro? What the fuck? Ow!
Okay. If you're on a cruise and you organized everybody on the ship to go to the left side all at one time, do you think just the weight in the people could actually make a tip or no? I'd say
I think it's got to be designed to prevent that,
no
like
way, right? Like,
yeah,
no
I don't think it'd be possible.
Because I'm imagining a world where there's something on like the coast, you can only see it from one side of the ship. So everyone goes to the balcony to go look at this thing. And then eventually that's enough weight to... It's just a fear I have on every cruise ship. I'm like, every time that there's a coastline...
No, I'm like, I
don't know. But...
like that's something that my family, we were talking about potentially, like it was like my entire family. They were like, what if we all, like, because I've been staunchly like, I'm never getting on a fucking cruise ship again in my life, because I did when I was like 5 and too young to think about what was going on. Okay. Like now I'm so fucking anxious that there's no goddamn way I'd survive a cruise ship. Like I'd have a panic attack the moment I get on board, But like I told them that if I will, I told Emily, I'm sorry, we're never getting on a cruise ship, just us. If my entire family is going, I'll tough it out. But there's no fucking way I'm doing that just by myself, man.
It's surprising, like the social aspect. That's definitely the weirdest part, I think. Like just being on a boat, like a moving hotel. But you see, everyone's always walking around, and like you're never alone, like ever, unless you're in your room. But you're never in your room, really, because like you want to experience the cruise, and like that's the weirdest part. Like you just let go eventually. You're just like, well, I'm never gonna see any of these people ever again in my fucking life, so like, who cares? And then everyone has that kind of momentum or like thing in their head. But, like, the nicest thing that I found on a cruise that you can't replicate, but oh my God, it is the best sleep you'll ever have in your life. You'll be hot as fuck. The sun will drain you, so you'll already be tired. You're tired already, but you are literally, like, rocked to sleep. Mm-hmm. Like, the water, it's so smooth. Like, and it's the best. Like, I wish, like, there could be some... I'd spend an ungodly amount on something that could go under my bed that would replicate this.
Right.
It's literally like a baby in like a fucking crate, like a swinging cradle. But everyone on the ship is experiencing that all at once at night.
If I could put my entire bed on a hammock, let's do it.
Like, dude, it's unbelievable. It's like, it's the best sleep I've ever had in my life.
No, I don't like. I remember flashes of the cruise that I went on when I was 5. Hardly remember any of it, but like, there are like bits and pieces of the ship. I remember it had like a giant fucking casino that I wanted to go in so bad because it's a giant room with a bunch of flashing lights and games, and they're like, you can't go in there, buddy. And I was like, fuck, you know.
I can actually gamble. I just want to look at shit.
I just want to walk around in there, man. I don't want to play any of the games. Look at this room. It's massive, and I wonder how much bigger it all is to me in my head since I was 5 than it actually was. You know.
No, things were huge back then. That's for sure.
No, it's just I would love to experience that again with full assurance of safety. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And the Titanic, that wasn't even looked at as like a cruise. Was that just like transport? Or was that like an actual like enjoy this cruise, you know, sort of thing?
Yeah,
was
I think that I don't think it was transport necessarily. I do think it was like a getaway. Like they were going out on the water.
Because they weren't returning at the same. Was the ideal path that they would come back and like to where they took off from, or were they? I think
they were going to port in America and then go back.
Okay, and they just never made it there.
Yeah,
like it was the first. Yeah, so
it was the first voyage of the Titanic that this happened on.
Yeah. Wow. So it was like a cruise. Man, that's a really cold water cruise. I don't know. That's like, is that really? Wow. Yeah, I guess not the shit. I don't know. You're in the ship. Like they were just. Yeah, I don't know. What year was it? Like whenever the
1912, I think.
Oh wow. So like, what's on a cruise ship in 1912? Is it really just dance floors and dinners and like?
Yeah, my money is that really it's just.
Like it's just your room, and then like you have dinners, and then you.
I mean, like the thing is that I think that for the poor people on the boat, it was transport. For the rich people on the boat, it's I'm on this new fucking boat that's giant, and this is a symbol of my status. You know.
I see. Yeah. Okay, I see. And I don't know. There's so much like. Apparently, the Titanic wasn't actually the Titanic. The name of the ship. Like, it was swapped with another ship right before, so technically it's, like, something else. I don't know, I remember, like, I used to, like, I dived into some Titanic YouTube video. It could be all false, I have no idea. But I remember going in the Titanic rabbit hole for a little bit at one point. Man, no, I don't know, it's one that definitely would have made my list. It's crazy that it didn't. I just haven't watched it in so long. It's been...
Yeah.
I don't know how long
I'm reading it right now. The British passenger liner sank in the North Atlantic Ocean on April 15th, 1912 after striking an iceberg during her maiden voyage from Southampton, England to New York City.
England? Okay. Okay. I guess you got to go through that cold water anyways if you want to if you're staying up there in that latitude, I still get them confused. Long way around. No.
Okay, yeah. So it started its maiden voyage on April 10th and sank on April 15th.
Okay. So they loved each other for 5 days.
Struck an iceberg at 11:40 p.m. on April 14th and sank 2 hours and 40 minutes later on April 15th.
Jeez. That's just terrible.
52,000 tons.
Ugh. How many passengers were on board?
2,224 passengers, more than 1,500 died.
Oh my god. Ugh. Man, that's just rough. At least the movie because like, is that like the actress that plays Rose at the very end, like old Rose? Is that just an actress, or is that like actually?
Yeah, no, it's an actor.
But is that based on a true
I don't think it's
story?
based on anyone particularly. I think it is based on several surviving accounts of the survivors of the Titanic. You know, like I don't think it's like yeah, it was Gloria Stewart who played her, and she is a very well established actress who was in like The Invisible Man and The Old Dark House and stuff like that. Like she was in a lot of movies. But yeah, man, just an incredible movie. I might fuck around and watch it again tonight now that we've talked about it for so long. But
I know. I might.
Let's get to 2 though.
Wow. Okay. All right. Well, it was just really debating on 1 and 2. What they were going to be for me. I was going back and forth. 1 was a franchise. 1 was just one movie. And I concluded that yes, I love this franchise more than this one movie. But as a singular movie, like one movie and that's it, I love the single movie more than the franchise, if that makes any sense at all.
No, we have the exact same logic for our 1 and 2.
Okay. So I put the franchise below the movie. But the franchise, if not known, is Star Wars. And the movie that I chose, I was going to pick Solo and say fuck everybody. Like it's like actually good though. Like, and just to plug it and be like, hey, watch Han Solo, because it's actually a good movie. And because it was the I watched Andor and then Everything Everywhere All at Once, and then I'm like, I'll watch one Star Wars movie. What should I watch? And I literally just went, fuck it, I'm gonna watch Solo. So I watched Solo. I love seeing the Falcon all clean. Oh my god, I don't know why. That's just like I see it as so satisfying now. I know I did before, but like it was just even more satisfying on this watch. I love Donald Glover too, so that's always nice. But the movie that I chose for my representative was almost Return of the Jedi, but I went with Revenge of the Sith because I'm a prequel baby at heart. And goddamn, did this movie... I mean, it's probably the second most watched movie in my life. Spider-Man is number 1, maybe Spider-Man 2. I'd say Revenge of the Sith is probably number 2. Is probably second place.
Yeah.
Me and my brother watched the shit out of this movie. We would fight. I'd be Obi-Wan. He'd be Anakin. He was always Anakin because he was literally like the psycho of the family, and I was just kind of the goody good, I guess. Yeah. So I was Obi-Wan, but I was fine with that. I won every time.
You're right.
This fight eventually, one time, got me to break my leg. I snapped my femur in half, replicating this fight. Yeah. I literally just jumped off a couch. That's it. That's all I did. But we were replicating this fight. Floor was lava, and we threw pillows on the ground, and we were jumping off the couch to land on the pillow, so we would float on our little floaty thing,
little pods,
down the lava river, right?
Yeah, of course.
And as I'm jumping onto my pillow or my floaty thing that I'm using the force to float on top of the lava, I don't know. I landed completely, like my leg just went completely stiff, and I just landed so wrong. My femur literally snapped in half. I guess I didn't drink enough milk as a kid.
Yeah.
But that's how dedicated to this movie I was, man. I don't know. Like, I literally broke my leg for this movie, trying to replicate being Obi-Wan Kenobi during this fight.
Oh, fuck yeah.
And now that I'm grown, I think I look at that fight, and the funniest thing to me is before the fight, Obi-Wan lets Padme go out first and be like, Anakin, no, come on, dude. Let's think about this. Like, come on, like, slow down a minute. And then he's just posted up. He's there, like, he comes out into frame whenever it pops up, like,
He's just standing there.
like I mean, just the pose. I don't know why it cracks me up every time I watch it now. But I don't know this. I always go back and forth on what my favorite Star Wars movie is. Sometimes it's Return of the Jedi. I really love seeing all black cloak Luke, green lightsaber, freaking jumping off almost into the Sarlacc pit, jumping back up, R2 alley-oop, freaking slice. Oh my god. I can go for that shit all day. Empire, it's just good. Also, A New Hope. I mean, like, any original trilogy is like a favorite at some point.
Yeah.
And then, like, I had like a Phantom Menace phase where I just like really loved watching Darth Maul and Qui-Gon. Rogue One has been a favorite.
It's an ever evolving tapestry of favorites. My 2 is also my Star Wars representative, so I'll just go with you here. The one I picked was Empire. I picked Empire Strikes Back. And I did some rewatching Star Wars wise. Like, I rewatched the entirety of the original trilogy.
And
I got over halfway through Revenge of the Sith. So I got like,
okay.
And I watched The Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, and then we were recording.
Okay.
I got through that last night. So right now, like at this very moment, this is like you said, an ever-changing sort of deal. My favorite Star Wars movie is Empire, for sure. My favorite prequel at this very second is Attack of the Clones. Fucking loved it. More so than I ever have on this most recent watch.
Yes, that's awesome.
It's just the way things go, and it won't be forever. Man. It'll be the Phantom Menace again. It'll be Revenge of the Sith again. It'll keep evolving. Like, it's just I just love the franchise, man, and it makes me so very happy. And I love Empire, and I love Revenge. I love all of them. You're not going to catch the sequel trilogy is so deeply special to me for it being the only one I ever saw in theaters. Like, the first time I got to watch a Star Wars in theaters was The Force Awakens, and when I did, it like kind of changed my fucking life. I loved Star Wars.
Sweet, dude.
Yeah, I loved Star Wars up to that point, but like it was like, oh man, now I'm living Star Wars. Like this is happening to me now.
We lived through a whole different era of Star Wars too. We're living through, those, man, people will say what they want to say about the sequels, but goddamn was it was so magical. Like, I mean, like,
so fun, man.
Like the first, like the original trilogy is magical for like what people are seeing on screen, and people are like, oh my god, like we've never really like seen a movie like this. Like, this is just like groundbreaking. And
Star Wars got nominated for Best Picture.
Yeah. And then, but like now it's like, okay, we have computers, we can do cool shit, but like now we're seeing it like turned up to, I don't know, like it's cool shit that looks good now.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, like it looks just really good. And yeah, I mean, like I think we're in a good time of Star Wars. It's been a little shaky, I guess, with the TV stuff and everything like that.
But not like something that made Star Wars so special is its scarcity. I think that like, we got the original trilogy, and then 15 years later, you get the prequels, and then 20 or 10 to 15 years after that, the sequels. And so like, it's just the movies, I'm hoping that we don't get to a point where we do with Star Wars movies what we do with TV shows. I'm hoping it's not like, and I liked the stretch from 2015 to 2019 where it was like Force Awakens, Rogue One, Last Jedi, Solo, Rise of Skywalker. That was one a year. You're getting a Star Wars movie, But I do love that we've gotten 4 years. We'll probably end up getting 5 or 6 off, probably 6 by the time that we get another. And that's cool with me. I'm cool with taking a break, man. I love these movies, and I want that to be a special thing.
They were planning a whole lot. Like a whole lot, man. And yeah, I mean, the only ones that are confirmed now is like the Filoni whatever Mandoverse movie.
Daisy Ridley's movie.
Then is there a director attached to that yet?
Yes, there is. I believe it was the showrunner. It was the chick who did Miss Marvel for the most part is kind of attached to that.
Is that it? Is that the only 2 movies that are confirmed now?
James Mangold's new Jedi Order movie, like the Dawn of the Jedi movie.
Ooh.
That's been confirmed, but there's no. The only one I'm confident is happening is Filoni's and Daisy Ridley's. Beyond that, you cannot count on any Star Wars announcement. Apparently, the Lando show has been turned into a movie. Apparently, it's going to be a movie now.
Oh, I thought okay. I took off my headset for a second. I thought you were saying it was canceled, like completely.
Oh, it will be. There's no way that happens. But yeah, I mean, it's done. It went from a show to a movie to, I'm assuming, make sure Donald Glover had time to do it.
Damn.
He will never
more
have
Lando.
Time to do it. Yeah,
Come
no,
on.
I think that'll be. I think that's done. But
he is a busy guy, probably.
Yeah, no, and they just can't get anything off the ground now. Like it's just unless it's some series they're going to pump out.
Yeah.
They're not doing shit. But
you're right.
No, regardless. In my rewatches, I found myself just. I've long said that The Last Jedi is the best looking Star Wars movie, and I don't stand by that anymore. I do think that, it's top two with The Empire Strikes Back, I think. The Empire Strikes Back is a fucking gorgeous movie. As far as the craft of filmmaking, not strictly effects-wise. As far as effects, you can't touch the sequels and the Disney-era Star Wars. It's been fucking insane. As far as the movies are concerned. But the room where, Cloud City and the entirety of the room where Vader and him face off and Han Solo gets frozen in carbonite and the orange and blue lighting that happens there. And, it is a beautiful fucking film. Hoth is beautifully photographed. It is a gorgeous movie, man. And, as far as the originals are concerned, it was so fascinating because I kind of just watch them, whichever one I feel like watching, whenever I feel like watching them kind of now. Mm-hmm. I rarely go, I'm going to watch this trilogy, then this trilogy, then this trilogy. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And it was fascinating to watch and kind of consciously be weary of the critical value and really see just how much better Empire is than the other two. It is genuinely the best Star Wars movie of George Lucas's. And I know that he didn't direct that. That was Irvin Kershner. But of the six that he wrote and headlined, I think it's definitely the best. And easily the best original trilogy movie. I love Empire Strikes Back. And, Carrie Fisher's Leia will always be special to me, and that's arguably her best movie. Her and Han's relationship coming to fruition and sort of being cut short right as it is, beautiful stuff. Luke's training with Yoda, fucking magnificent. I love Empire, dude.
Gotta love that.
Luminous beings are we, not this crude matter. It's my favorite Star Wars quote. I love that. I love that quote. Judge me by my size, do you?
Rewatched Andor.
Ooh.
Oh my god.
Now that's peak. Might genuinely be the best Star Wars thing ever, actually.
I'm thinking it is.
Yeah,
I literally watched it all in a day.
Yeah.
And that day was pretty fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I just kept hitting continue. I'm just like, oh my god, yeah. And then I'm like,
wait, a giant movie had to be awesome. I need to do that at some point.
Oh my god, it was amazing. And I'm like, I should probably eat. I'm like, that's the only thing that took me away. I'm like, I should probably just give my body the thing it needs to continue. And then I'm like, yeah, right, Andor mode. All in a day, and it was fucking awesome. It was I had our family got COVID. That's what my mother and father brought back from Europe was COVID. The European strain hit different here. They got some variant. I don't know, the EU variant or something. I don't know what to call it, but it hit different. And so I was like, well, I'm gonna be in bed pretty much all day anyways, and I want to rewatch something Star Wars and. I haven't watched Andor, man. Yeah, I rewatched certain episodes before. I rewatched Narkina 5, that's or maybe just the
One Way Out.
Yeah, One Way Out. Like that's probably the one I rewatched the most.
There is one way
Dude.
out. Oh, dude, bro, no, fuck, I love that show. Like that's,
Can't swim.
what a TV show.
Can't swim, dude. Can't even fucking swim.
I have a gun.
Oh my god, dude, I don't know, that show. I really want the cut of Marva saying "fuck the Empire," dude. I want that cut. I want that cut so bad. It feels more right. I don't
Fight
know.
the Empire probably is the proper thing to say in that moment.
Come on, when you're about to literally smack the Empire in the helmet with your own body brick, you say "fuck the Empire."
Fuck the Empire. Yeah,
Brasso brought it down with that brick.
Yeah, dude. I
Marva
fucking
post mortem smackdown. But yeah, no, Star Wars. I mean, come on, can't really. It's gonna be up there. We knew this much. And we lined up. The second lineup. What was
sort
it?
of?
Tick Tick
Yeah.
Boom. Tick Tick Boom and Star Wars. Yeah, not the same.
Not the same movie, but the same
representative
representative.
movie. But yes, Star Wars, man. It's gonna be tough for a movie to break this 1 or 2 barrier.
Yeah,
it's quite the barrier.
3 is possible, but
yeah,
1, 2, it's my 1, 2, man. I cannot imagine anything does that.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, it's gonna. I don't know. I'll invite it. I'm very, very much inviting it to happen. I'm just speaking of its very unlikelihood of happening. But let's see. Have we not given any love to anything Star Wars? Mando, Grogu, Boba, Bad Batch. Come on, Bad Batch, Rebels, Clone Wars. Fuck. Hello, animated love.
There's a lot to like, man. Star Wars is wonderful.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing they could do that I won't at least enjoy, you know. I might have critical beefs with it, but they're yet to put something out that I actively dislike, you know.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, I don't think I have a single hate.
Yeah, no.
That
Far
comes
from it.
Star Wars. Yeah. So, okay. Well, we had the same thinking. We're gonna. I think I have a pretty safe assumption on what your movie is.
Yeah, same.
But I think you have a pretty safe assumption on mine. It is a movie poster that I have behind me. I don't know. I don't know if I've more instantly fallen in love with any other movie than Interstellar from Christopher Nolan in 2014. I said I became a man when I watched Shawshank Redemption. I became enlightened, maybe is the word. That seems a little too much. I became aware, just conscious. More, I don't know. Like I became mature, maybe. I don't know. This movie is just an absolute masterpiece, in my opinion. Like, if you're a nerd, it's just kind of even cooler. But even without all the space and gravity and time dilation, all this stuff, like the base storyline, I think it's just good enough that it carries on its own. Like it's just the human race is dying, and we need to find a solution. That's it. We just need to find another place to live. And then like just the absolute like spiral that they go on, that it's like it's a lie. Like there is no plan A, like even in the first place. Like it's impossible. We can't save the humans. They're doomed. We've already made this decision. You're just taking sperm and eggs up to another planet and restarting human civilization from scratch. And it's like, holy shit, what the fuck? Like, that's fucked. That's pretty fucked up. And then you learn, well, they've already been away for like 70 years, I don't know, give or take, just because of time dilation. So, I mean, they're just kind of screwed anyways. So, Matthew McConaughey is just like, fuck it. I'm just gonna dive into a black hole. Gotta save Anne Hathaway. Every action has a, I don't know, he needed to shed the weight, so he needed to go. But this was his last ditch effort, and maybe finding a way home. And then that moment, I don't know, the moment of the end there.
Let me go, Murph! No, Murph, no! Make me stay, Murph! No, Murph! It's a lot funnier. He's trying to listen to someone off camera, and I'm yelling "No, Murph" into his ear. Murph, no!
Tell me to stay, or tell him to stay. Tell me, like, I think.
Tell me to stay, Murph!
Like, I don't know.
Not on the elemental chart.
Matthew McConaughey, I do love him in Wolf of Wall Street. Let me tell you, I do.
This is peak McConaughey.
But no, Interstellar I love him here. And, like, his face, like, whenever he realizes that it's all for her, it's like, oh, they didn't choose me. They chose
pride.
her, and he was like, oh my God. Like, he was so happy. And just, and like the thought, like who's they? Is it some crazy alien species?
Right.
Is it us from the future? Don't you get it, TARS? It's us. It's us from the future, or whatever. I don't know. He's Matt. Like,
love, TARS, love.
It's love. That's all it is, And at the end, he's getting the girl. He's going across space. He's
got to go see about a girl.
He's hopping in the ship and he's taking off. Like that. Oh my God, him and Murph at the old Murph at the end. Whenever like all the like the weirdest thing is like whenever he walks through the door and like all of her like extended family's there, like all of her children, and their children.
His grandkids and great grandkids and their and their kids, like
they kind of look at him like, I don't know. Like, I feel like the moment would have been different. Like, I feel like, I feel like they didn't even say a word at all. I get like, obviously he was going to talk to Murph like first.
Yeah, I'm like, I just think they know, they don't know this guy,
Yeah, that's true. Like, he literally haven't met him in their life at all. They just have heard stories, I guess.
I mean, it's like whenever you've met members of your family even who you've never met, and you've just kind of been like, "Hi," like kind of like,
yeah, there is no connection.
You're my great uncle or whatever the fuck, you know what I'm saying? Like,
that's true.
But no, it's Murph's moment. It's time for father and daughter to speak.
God damn it, dude! I don't know. I'm a mess in this movie quite a lot of times, and like. That's the thing, like, knowing how it ends can get me to kind of, like, cry early on whenever you're not even supposed to. There's the handshake that, like, at first, like, they're going through and it's just, like, this space warp, and Anne Hathaway puts her hand up, and, like, her hand goes in it, and, like, it's all warped and shit. And it turns out that it was Matthew McConaughey giving her a little handshake whenever he was going through the black hole. And, I don't know, it's just, like... Even in that moment when her hand, it's just like get me to think of the connection, and I'm like, what's actually happening? I'm like, oh man, oh no, I'm like, oh no, like I know where this goes, and I don't know, just
I've seen this film before.
Visually, just incredible. Like I don't know, the space, like space visuals. I love these space visuals in here.
Space
the black
stars.
Technically, you wouldn't be able to see a black hole because that's the whole point, but. This is the closest thing we got to a black hole. It's literally what like physicists use to study black holes. The simulation they made for it. So Nolan likes to stick to the realness, even if it doesn't if we don't even know what this shit is, really. We still don't even really fucking know of what black holes are. But we can make badass movies about them. And ones that might not even make sense on the first watch, but then you watch it a couple times and you're like, oh. Like, I don't know, it took probably 2-3 times for the movie to fully click.
Yeah, to
like
sink in.
everything to like, I saw all the connections and like how everything played in, like, and it was amazing. Like, and then like every time after, it's just like fine wine. It just gets better. Like every time I watch it, and I don't know, I'm never tired of this movie. I watch it probably an unhealthy amount. But yeah, I don't know. I would like to see, I don't know, if this was showing in a theater in IMAX, I could do that. I could do an Interstellar view. The soundtrack, oh my god, haven't even talked about that yet. Holy fuck, that's the second most listened to soundtrack after Tron, for me, is Interstellar.
Zimmer was rocking it.
God dang, dude, it gets me. It has every kind of emotion in that soundtrack. I want to hear that played in like an organ, like in a church, or like a big ass, organ. I need to hear that like in my life.
Yeah, nah, man. I fucking love that score. Hans Zimmer really does just do the fucking thing with that one. Yeah, man. I love that movie. It's so damn good.
Y'all, I will never try or never stop trying to get people to watch that movie. That's for sure. Try to get anyone I can into Star Wars, but I know it's not everyone's cup of tea. But I try if I can.
Oh fuck yeah!
Interstellar's usually my next go-to if I'd say for people to watch a movie. I don't know what would be my next. I think maybe Everything Everywhere All at Once. I think that my number 3. I think that does make sense. I think it tracks. Actually,
my
with
best.
my top 3 recommendations, actually.
Yeah, I do my best to get people to watch Everything Everywhere All at Once as well, and with good reason. As it is my number 1 favorite movie of all time.
Way.
Believe it or not,
I did not see this coming.
Believe it or not, the movie that I have on numerous occasions claimed as my favorite movie of all time is my favorite movie of all time. No, and this is a rarity. We've talked about you watched it and you went, oh, this has got to be one of my favorite movies of all time. I watched this and went, oh, that is my favorite movie of all time. Like I walked out of the theater and was like, my life just changed.
That would be so different to see that in the theater. Oh my god. Oh my god. Dude, even if you have a bad theater experience, that movie just in itself,
it's fucking magnificent, dude.
Holy shit.
I mean, I had no idea what I was getting into, like I'd watched the trailer, but I'd watched the trailer like weeks before I saw it. And I was just like, oh yeah, that would be cool. I remember like it had like a limited release and it took weeks after its release date to get to our local theater. And every week I was checking. I was like, is Everything Everywhere All at Once in my theater yet? Is Everything Everywhere? And it finally was. And I went that day. As soon as I saw it, I was like, yep, we're going. And like I said, just instantly when I was leaving that movie theater, I looked at Emily and I was like, how'd you like it? She was like, oh, I loved it. I cried like a lot. And I was like, yeah, that's my favorite movie of all time. I was like, that's my favorite. It's so fucking special, man. I adore Michelle Yeoh. I love Michelle Yeoh with all my fucking heart. And this movie led me to discovering her entire filmography. I was already familiar with her from a few things, but to go back and watch some of her classic Hong Kong movies from back in the day after was so fucking fun. I knew Ki Kwan from Temple of Doom. He was Indy's little sidekick when he was like 9. And oddly enough, I'd known Stephanie Hsu from fucking Shang-Chi, where she's just a friend of Awkwafina and Shang-Chi. So like, it was just like, oh yeah, I like all these people. Let's go and check this out. And I left a different person. You know, it just kind of redefines your outlook a little bit. You know, because this is quintessential to my understanding of life. You know, sort of like when you get to realizing that nothing is actually that big of a deal.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people that make shit worse.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to, though. Like, it's not that big a deal. You are fucking free, man. Like, it's not that big a deal. You could live anywhere you want. And you could be anywhere. You could do anything. And because of that, what you're doing now is special. You know?
Yeah, like, it's great. Like, I don't know, kind of a funny thing. Like, someone said that, like, you can, I don't know, some TikTok or something. Or it was like, you can, you know, try to find, like, just appreciate the smaller things in life. You know, just anything, you know, if you find something that even makes you a little bit happy, try to like, find the solace in, like, why it makes you happy and blah, blah. And then they're like, and then someone was like, you know what makes me the most happy? Is doing things that aren't illegal, but maybe should be.
Yeah, right.
And it's like, example, I can be fully drenched, just get absolutely drenched, jump in a pool, and go in public, like walk in a Walmart. Yep. You know, like, can you, like, I don't know, or like mow the lawn.
That's a jump point.
Mow the lawn when it is like thunderstormy now. I don't know, like, just can you imagine, like, just seeing someone do something like that? You know, I don't know, exactly. Like, and that's the funny thing to me is that, like, the world's so big that, like, maybe that's actually happening somewhere. Like, dude, I've always had that thought of, like, am I the first one to do this sequence of moves? You know, like, you have to do first.
Has anyone ever said that sentence I just said?
Exactly. Yeah. And, like, I don't know, I mean, like, they don't really jump into, like, the whole multiverse, like, too deeply in this movie. Like, it's just kind of like, you can jump from here to there, and, like, you can have the skill set that your other
it's you.
Yeah, I don't know what to, like, refer. Yeah, your other selves,
variants, if you will.
Yeah, your other variants have. And then, like, what was the Alpha Prime or
Alphaverse?
Alphaverse. That's right. That's
the
sick.
Alphaverse. Alpha Wayman and Alpha Gong Gong.
Yeah.
No, man.
Yes. Mecha
Gong Gong.
Like the wheelchair turned it like a transformer. Yeah,
bro,
that was sick.
There's a turning point in that movie that's just whenever so like in one reality she kills Wayman, you know, or stabs him, and then in another reality she's like fucking up the laundromat as the IRS agent comes in and is trying to arrest her. And then she goes and she falls down into becoming a rock. And Joy all the while is like, nothing matters. You know, I was hoping that maybe you'd see something I didn't, but you didn't. So this is just what it's going to be. You know, at least I don't die alone. Whenever he gets back up after having been stabbed, and you're cutting to that other reality where he's talking about how in another life he would have just liked doing laundry and taxes. You know, he's like, you think I'm weak, you know, but this is just how I fight. And then it cuts to him going like, I don't know what is happening, but I feel like somehow it's my fault, and I fucking lose it every time. And I talk about how I fucking lose it every time that I talk about this movie. But I mean, my God, it is so fucking good. And Ke Quan deserved every bit praise he got for his performance in this movie. So did Michelle Yeoh. Because when he turns around after she's realized that he's what makes her world to go round, and that's they belong together. If just and she turns around and the lights changing colors as it spins around them.
And the IRS.
Yeah,
they saw the couple at the beginning, and they're like, "Oh, look at them! Don't you?"
This man's so fucking sweet. She just stabbed my man. He gets up and tries to protect her from guns. What a fucking king, Wayman. What a fucking king. I mean, my God, is this dude the shit.
He would be so much fun to hang out with. Like he
Oh.
made everything fun. Like everything was, I don't know. Like he just seemed like such a joyful guy, you know?
This is the life. Dude,
But the Jobu Tupaki, like the
Jobu Tupaki.
like the like phasing back and forth, like
Yeah.
between like the nails.
When they would
like I
throw
remember,
a punch and
then,
now
like,
they're in a different place
oh
and
yeah,
boom,
that was
another like dude.
so cool.
In some
Oh my
places,
God.
in this reality, you might win, but in another, and then they switch, and she beats her, and she's like, and in another, we're just hanging around, and they're the pinatas swinging back and forth, and then their drawings on a piece of paper, and then like all these different places, but
So
the culmination of the movie actually being the hug at the end, whenever she's like, "Would you please just stop?" And everything stops. They stop cutting from reality to reality. And she's like, "Good, you're figuring your shit out. I'm happy for you. That doesn't change anything, like this shit still sucks." And Michelle Yeoh's like, "Yeah, it does. Of all the places I could be, why would I be here with you?" And Keyquan's in the background like, "Honey, that's enough. You don't need to say things like that." But she's like building to a point. He's like, because he never even, Joy and her know what's going on the whole time. They know what's going on. He's just there the whole time. He's trying his best. He's just trying to be nice. Honey, that's enough. You don't need to say that. And she's like, I got this. Hold on. And then to build it like, I could be anywhere in the world, and I would rather be nowhere but here, with you. And that's the whole fucking thing. Whenever she gives everybody what they want to defeat them at the end, and he's like, "What are you doing?" And she's like, "I'm learning to fight like you." And she gives everybody exactly what they need. Spritzes the dude's perfume, the dude's wife's perfume in his face, and he just falls to the ground, spanks the dude's ass.
That's that's the thing. It's funny. It gets you to cry like a baby. The action is actually insane. Like the martial arts and shit that's in. Like I don't know, that's in there.
Clear Matrix homages also, by the way. Like whenever Jamie Lee Curtis like does the spider monkey in the air on her way down, and then she just kind of like pushes her away, like that whole thing.
Oh man, yeah, what a fun movie, dude!
Dude, I love it.
And to come out, like, I don't know, it's I said that La La Land feels like it should have come out like a long time ago for some reason. This is like only a movie that could come out now. Like now, I feel like, I don't know.
No, it's like, so absurdist. It's so ridiculous that to have seen any success, it had to have come out now. And it's
perfect.
It came out at the perfect time, dude. It really did. And I'm so incredibly thankful that the Daniels put their weird ass fucking heads together to make this.
The Daniels. A different D&D. This is a cool D&D.
This is the better D&D. Yeah.
So much cooler.
This is peak D&D.
Yeah. Whatever. Are they working on anything else next, or is this one and done?
No, they've already had another movie also, which was on my top 100 that I cut from it. It's called Swiss Army Man. That has Paul Dano and Daniel Radcliffe in it, which is very, very good also. And if I'd watched it more than once, it would certainly be on my top 100. I'm not sure what else they've got in the pipeline. I know they've got an episode of Skeleton Crew. Speaking of Star Wars, they're helming an episode of a Star Wars show, which will be very cool.
That's still coming out.
Yeah, that's still coming out. Still coming out.
Okay. Okay. 2023 it says, I guess.
No, that's not happening. But it is still coming out. Just don't know when, but it will one day. Hopefully.
Oh yeah, I think they announced the cast for it or something like that.
Yeah, like it's been filmed.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, like it's pretty much done. But yeah, man, I love Everything Everywhere All at Once. It's one that so deeply special to me that I guess I could see how it might not be for you. It is pretty absurdist, but dude, I fucking love it. I will never tire of it. The reveal, like when she gets off the elevator and she's dressed up as like Elvis and she's walking a pig.
Yep.
And then she blows the dude's head off with confetti, and then she gets shot, but it's actually ketchup. She's like, organic, and she like licks it off her fingers.
Oh my god!
Dude, I fucking love it. And she's like, "You are the reason my daughter thinks she's gay." And Joe was like, "Wait, you're still hung up on the fact that I like girls in this world?"
Yeah.
And then, like, everything that happens after that with, like, the light shuddering above her, and she's like, oh, dude. Because when you really put everything on a bagel, you know, like a...
That's what it comes down to, yeah, the everything bagel. Yeah. Oh, man. Look at...
into a bagel. She's got, like, a tear running down her face as she sings that, and it's like... dude, I fucking love that movie, dude. It's just so fucking special to me, and I knew from the time we crafted this list what my number one was, and it was this, and it always was this, and I'm happy it's this, you know? This is my favorite movie of all time.
Gotta have that one movie above the franchise. And that makes sense. I mean, like, I don't feel like I can put any other movie. It's just, everyone has that one movie, you know, that you just a cut above.
Yep,
the rest.
Can't deny it.
There we are. Let's see. What would be the graphic for this one? What would be a funny one? Is there a funny one?
The Batman.
Jared Gilman.
And Sam Shakusky and the Batman.
Yep. Perfect.
Now I'll probably get a little more creative for the top 10. It'll probably be a little bit more than just the usual two characters from a couple movies, you know.
Okay.
But man,
well, only Titanic and Casablanca were the only two in your top 10 that were not in my list whatsoever. But I haven't.
Yeah, I want to do a whole Patreon. I want to do a whole Patreon episode that's breaking down the top 100 stats. Like, like what's the year that appeared the most? What's the highest average for those years? Like, where does appear? Of the overlapping, how would they rank when we take the mean of the numbers where they ranked? You know, like that sort of thing. So I want to do a whole Patreon episode dedicated to that. That'd be a lot of fun. But let's go ahead and run back through it. Since we got to the bottom of our top 10. We got to the bottom of the top 100. We got all the way through it. 100 movies each. Give it to me 10-1 this time. Go bottom to top for the last part.
That feels right. Right. All right. Number 10, The Batman.
Of course.
I should say. Number 9, The Dark Knight. Number 8, The Truman Show. Number 7, Nope. Number 6, The Grand Budapest Hotel. Number 5, The Matrix. Number 4, The Shawshank Redemption. 3, Everything Everywhere All at Once. 2, Star Wars Revenge of the Sith. And 1, Interstellar.
My 10, I had Casablanca. 9, The Batman. 8, The French Dispatch. 7, Little Women. 6, Moonrise Kingdom. 5, La La Land. 4, Raiders of the Lost Ark. 3, Titanic. 2, The Empire Strikes Back. And 1, Everything Everywhere All at Once. And with that, we conclude our top 100 favorite movies ever. It's been so much fun to do this project. And it's already changed. So we'll revisit this topic, I'm sure, in the future. Won't be anytime soon. We don't want to burn you guys out with just the same content over and over, but we will at some point revisit this. And I can't fucking wait. Like I said, for patreon.com/pennybloom-pod, I do want to do a top 100 stats kind of breakdown. The most occurring actors, the most occurring directors, the most the year that popped up the most, the decade, and et cetera, et cetera. How much overlapped? What overlapped? Where would
Mm.
it be if we combined it? Sort of like just a big old thing there. So that'll be on patreon.com/pennybloom_pod at some point. Not sure when, but we'll get around to it, I'm sure. Head to Twitter, follow at PennyBloomPod, follow on Instagram at PennyBloomPodcast. Remember to leave a 5-star rate and review wherever you might be listening, and to stand strong with SAG-AFTRA in their struggle against the studios. The WGA strike has been resolved, it seems, and that's incredible, but there's still a fight to be had, and the actors deserve everything they're asking for and more.
Mm.
You know, we wouldn't have these 100 movies to talk about without them. So I'm incredibly thankful for their hard work. But yeah, man, this has been so much fun. I cannot wait to eventually revisit another top 100, maybe top 100 actors and actresses, that sort of thing. That could be a lot of fun, and who knows when that'll be, but not anytime soon. We got a lot on the table. This Friday, Wes Anderson, as of today, is releasing shorts on Netflix. And now that we've covered Wes Anderson's entire filmography, we're going to continue to do so as he releases things. So this Friday will be the first 2 of those Wes Anderson shorts coming out. And then next Monday will be the second 2 of those Wes Anderson shorts, kind of continuing that director's spotlight. But thereafter, next Wednesday, we are beginning our Martin Scorsese director's spotlight in anticipation of Killers of the Flower Moon. We're beginning with The King of Comedy next Wednesday, and we will continue it next Friday with After Hours, and we will keep going for 4 additional movies on top of that, 6 total in anticipation of Killers of the Flower Moon. We got The King of Comedy, After Hours, Casino, Gangs of New York, Shutter Island, and The Irishman, all in anticipation of that film there. And I'm so very, very excited. But yeah, with that, I was Colton Robertson. I was joined by Joseph George. Thank you very much, homie.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure to be here.
Oh, and it is always a pleasure to have you. And remember, peace, love, and bloom. And always praise Everything Everywhere All at Once and Interstellar.